Welcome to Mustard Cat Sports. My name's Lucas TA, and we have another NASCAR podcast. So we're going to talking NASCAR for majority of this podcast. And our guest today is Jared. What's up, Jared?
Oh, not much. Just kind of getting off the racing deal, getting into football a little bit more, enjoying the off season for racing, seeing what the off season is going to bring for NASCAR.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to talk about from the points to just what the hell happened this whole season. So,
Yeah, there's a lot to unload and chat about. That's for sure.
well, let's get into the easy questions. Well, hopefully they're easy for you. But are you a cat or a dog person?
I have to say that I'm a dog person.
Okay.
I grew up with a Rottweiler in the house with my parents, and
Hmm.
he ended up biting my dad when he was trying to get after me for one to we never really were allowed to have cats, I guess. Like my
Okay.
dad's not a cat person, and
Hmm.
I had a German Shepherd when I grew up. My daughter grew up around him. Um yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have farm cats, barn
Ah,
cats, but that's
catching
a
the
different story.
catching the varmints.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is another toughie. Mustard or ketchup, and you have to pick one of them, and it's the only condiment you can have for the rest of your life.
Too
So,
easy for me.
okay, what is it?
Ketchup.
Okay,
I'm not a mustard dude.
not a mustard guy.
No, no, I can't
Oh,
do it. I've never been able to. I've tried and tried and tried. I can't.
the um, they used to have mustard pretzels. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about with those? It was like a pretzel and it had like mustard like kind of dusting on it. I don't know if they have those anymore, but would you
Dots
have
has them, and
would you have
because like
eaten
Dots
them?
is about 20 minutes away from my house.
Yeah,
Well, it was,
yeah.
and then Hershey's bought them out. They got them all over the place now.
So would you eat the mustard pretzels?
No,
No.
no, anything mustard, man. I'm running for the hills.
Okay. All right. I was just trying. Okay.
Like I'm sure I've ate some of it. I was in the army for 5 years, so like
Uh,
it was like you're either gonna eat or you're
but
gonna go hungry.
that's true.
So
Okay. Well, we're gonna shift into the NASCAR question. So, uh, this is my favorite question because I like learning about where everyone started because it kind of gives you a general idea of what generation of car era that they started in. But what year or roughly what year did you start watching NASCAR?
well, it wasn't really a sport that we had on when I was growing up.
Hmm.
Um, Probably 2008,
Okay.
2009. Bunch of us in high school, we a couple of the guys that I went to school with, they ended up getting hobby stocks at the local dirt track here.
Okay.
And we'd go over Sunday morning and eat lunch and get the car ready to go racing, and NASCAR would be on in the background, and kind of took a deep dive from there. I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2007 would probably, I mean, I've heard of it. Like I
Mhm.
was on my way to Pop Warner football practice when Dale died, and
Yeah.
so like I've known about it, but
Yeah. But you didn't start diving in and actually watching.
and
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I gotcha. Um, so who is your favorite driver now, or have you had multiple favorite drivers? Because obviously drivers come and go. So, or are you just a casual and you just enjoy everyone?
I have a few favorites
Okay.
today. Back in the day, Clint Boyer,
Yeah.
um, like coming up, like my introduction to racing was dirt. So
Mhm.
anybody that ran dirt, and it still holds true today. So
Yeah.
Clint Boyer, Smoke, Casey Kane,
Oh yeah.
all those guys. I enjoyed it. Boyer has a personality.
Yeah.
Like I've been huge on Mark Martin,
Hmm.
learning about his history and everything, and where he came from and how he started. I like so it's kind of a mixture of both, I guess, with dirt, and these guys know. how to work on their cars.
Yeah.
Completely contradictory on who my favorite driver is today, which is Kyle Larson.
Yeah. I gotcha.
You put him in anything and he can drive it. You give him a wrench, he
Yeah.
probably doesn't know what he's doing. And that's been
Yeah.
said through several outlets. Um, Ryan Blaney's another one, Ryan Preece,
Yeah.
uh, and I hate to say it, but Denny Hamlin.
Denny. Yeah. Denny.
Uh,
Denny's he's a he's so interesting guy. He is it's a love hate thing, but man,
yeah,
it's it's really hard to not root for him nowadays, especially after what happened last week. But
yeah,
like he's I don't know, he's one he's one of the last few that are from that early 2000s generation that's still racing.
yeah.
Besides Kyle Busch, otherwise once those two are gone, it's it's a new chapter, like completely new chapter. So
Absolutely. And I started listening to his podcast. I do a lot of driving for
mhm.
work, so it's like I have so much time,
Yeah.
2 hours to work every day. And I started listening to his podcast and I said, all right, well, this guy isn't too bad.
Hmm.
And you listen to his take and how he perceives the sport that he's in, and it'll open your eyes to look at it in a different light, other than somebody who sits at the track or watches it on the TV.
Hmm.
You kind of see what's going on inside the car, inside the office, inside the garage, inside the buildings, when they're building cars and all that. It's just it's interesting to me. And I became a fan of him.
Yeah. No, he does something that I think more reporters and everyone else should do their job better.
Used
And
to.
they
It
used to.
used to.
Yes, yes, yes. Used to do because as a fan, like I enjoy seeing that kind of behind the scenes, and Denny kind of gives that to people when you listen to his podcast because he doesn't tell the whole story because there's some stuff that he can't tell, but he'll give you as much as he can without giving the whole kitchen sink away. But
Yeah.
that helps you out because then when I'm watching the race next week or something, and whatever the heck he was talking about, I see it happen. I'm like, oh wow, now I
Dang.
see what he's
Yep.
talking about. Like whatever, like the car's doing something. I don't have the example, but it helps you rather than you're just seeing this mush brain like reporters that are just reporting the plain Jane clickbait stuff that like
Boom fed.
yeah, yeah, I don't need
I
that.
could name a few,
Yeah.
but
Well, you can.
like I mean Jordan Bianchi,
Yeah, he's the number one.
I I used to listen to the teardown. I can't do it anymore.
I know. It was I
And
listened to that last one they did just because I wanted to hear what they had to say. It's infuriating listening to him talk sometimes. It's like I just want to take my head and bash it up against a concrete wall over and over. I'm like, what? Like, what do you
yeah,
think these like? It's a fine that he has a different opinion and he likes a certain way. It's fine that, but to like gaslight or say that majority of the fans want something and it's not true, it's demeaning and stupid and it drives people away even more because then they're like,
he
"Fuck you, dude! I don't want to listen to this. I don't
he
want to listen to you."
reminds me of his arrogance
Hmm.
is what's key is he goes, well, you guys don't know what you're talking about because you're not here.
Yeah.
You're not in the day to day. And you know what? On some things, yeah, you're probably right.
Hmm.
But as far as like the on track product and the on TV product, which is also the on track product,
Hmm.
and the overall racing on it, like you have to listen to your fan base,
Yeah.
which is huge. And he just downplays it, and and I don't know how Jeff Gluck does it. I really
I
don't.
know. I
I
know.
don't. Bob Hawkers, he has his takes, and he he's a true. He's gonna tell you what's up. He has his opinion. You know what his opinion is,
Hmm.
and you could probably change his mind. And I've seen him sway throughout the year, back and forth, back and forth. Not this year, but years.
Yeah.
And but with Bianchi, it's like you're seeing viewership go down and down and down and down. But NASCAR's never been in a better place. And if we didn't have the playoffs, then we wouldn't have this manufactured drama, which
Yeah.
goes back to what you're saying. Like, you actually have to go do your job.
Yeah.
Now it's just, oh, let's talk about the cut line.
Yeah. No,
That's about it.
yeah. It not to get ahead of ourselves too much, but like the cut line, that whole baloney of that is just so annoying and it's so played out
Yeah.
and it's oh my like if you
Manufactured drama.
yeah, if you got rid of the playoffs and let's just say hypothetically it's a full season points. They're mad because then someone will run away with the championship, but then they're like, we don't have anything to talk about. Well, you could talk about those people that were quote unquote on the cut line as good stories. Like, I remember back in the early 2000s, when I was a Ward Burton fan, when in 2000, he got into the top 10 in points. Like, last, or whenever I did the podcast with Alex, I was telling him that I knew as a fan of Ward Burton, he probably wasn't going to win a championship. And I was fine with that because he was in not A tier equipment
Yep.
and it was a single car team. Then it became a double, two teammates or whatever. But I knew he wasn't going to be able to win the championship. But I, as a fan, was super excited, and I felt like it was a successful year if he got in the top 10 in points and then at least got one win. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I didn't
Yeah.
care if the fucking championship was decided races early. It's like I'm still gonna watch those three races because maybe Ward's gonna win one of those, or
You're
maybe he'll
still
get a top
pulling.
five because
You're
I
still
love look.
cheering for your
Yeah,
team.
I love looking at stats. And as a young kid, when I came home from school, I would get on the old NASCAR.com, which is a shell of itself now. But it used to be you could go on there and you could see like stats galore. Like when I go on to NFL.com, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but I can at least go on there and I can look up thousands of stats on there. And I, as a fan, and I'm not saying everyone is like me, we like looking at stats. You like comparing stuff. You like being, ooh, man, if Ward can get six more top tens and maybe a win before the end of the year, he'll beat his best season ever, and that's a win for the
Yeah.
fans, for his fans, for like, and the fact that people that run NASCAR and the fact that people that report in NASCAR they don't understand that that's a part of the sport, they're lost and the sport will be lost if they don't see that because that's why NASCAR grew to such big heights. It's not like ball and stick sports because you can have so many different fans that have different agendas. Like they understand that Ty Dillon isn't going to win a championship. But if Ty Dillon get a top fucking 20 in the points, they're like, "Holy shit. This guy is deserving of maybe going up into a better, quality rig or something like that." I don't know,
That's
but
how you
then
move up.
yeah, and the fact that none of that gets talked about, but the fans know because that's what the fans do. That's why they're. That's part of. I'm not saying the whole reason, but that's why they're irritated. Like I don't need a championship for one race, and then we only focus on the top four. Like don't get me wrong, I'm a Kyle Larson fan too, so it was fun during that race because it was constantly about the top four. But then at the same time, it's like, what about the other drivers? What about Blaney? What about
Yeah.
Brad Keselowski that almost won at the end? That he hasn't had a win in what 2 years, a year and a half, something like that. I don't know, but like, or Roush Fenway Racing hasn't even got a win this year. That would have been a huge storyline, and
It wouldn't even have been followed.
yeah, like none of that. Like it's just infuriating and it's annoying.
See, and I tie NASCAR is not stick and ball,
Mhm.
but I tie a lot of it back to football
Yeah.
or baseball. Um, so when I get asked questions from people that, hey, what do you think of the NASCAR layout now? I got
Mhm.
a few buddies around here that they're huge into NASCAR. They're not real bright. I mean, one's a Bubba Wallace fan, but anyways, and I said, they're doing all this stuff when you sit and you research to put up your fantasy team for football
Hmm.
and you do betting, the underdog betting and stuff like that. Like you're looking up them stats. Hey, you know, I'm a huge Denver Broncos fan. Denver's got a really good defense. Poor performance last Thursday.
Hmm.
Lost some money, but the stats didn't back up. I mean, the stats showed me something different. They didn't back it up. And when you think about NASCAR, it's like, okay, we can probably get into that when you ask me about
Yeah.
the Phoenix thing. So,
Yeah.
but like taking my brother to the race and I'm trying to explain to him, I said, this is how everything works.
Hmm.
Brand new race fan, can't even get him to watch it on TV. He just sits there. It's so boring.
Yeah.
And took him there and he was just blown away. Blown
Yeah.
away. But explaining how the point system is and how people end up in the spots and how everything goes down, it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, who's going to be good here? And I said, the top four
Yeah.
in points, the championship four.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to race them a little bit lighter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I said, you can, after that, you don't know. The,
Yeah.
the cookie crumbles however it's going to.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's another, yeah. We'll we'll get into that here once let's finish these last couple off and then we'll get it. Oh man. It's I'm glad NASCAR's over with, the season's over with because it's been
It's time to unwind.
yeah, it's been an irritating last
There's
year.
been good
It's been
things.
yeah, it's been an irritating, I would say, last like
Yeah.
4 years, but it's really come to a head in the last two. So,
Yep. Absolutely.
um, so I know we kind of touched on when you started watching, and you kind of explained, you know, um, how'd you got started watching. So, through the dirt races, and just did you have a specific person at all, or was it you that more or less sought it out through dirt racing? That was like, ooh, let's check out this.
Like I said, like my friends in high school had a couple cars.
Hmm.
Yeah. We went around and raced around North Dakota.
Hmm.
So um that's what really it ended up being, hey, we're gonna go race on Sunday night. If you live in North Dakota, doesn't matter if it's Western or Eastern North Dakota, you know who races on Sunday night.
Hmm.
So I'm like, sure. We drive across town, unload the car, and I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Hmm.
This is fun. Old school open trailer, old worn down piece of shit pickup. Just a bunch of high school kids that were just slapdicks, didn't know
Yeah.
what we were doing, listening from the old timers, like, hey, you guys are so far out, like, and you go, like you were saying, like, hey, you know what? Ward Burton can get in the top 10. And
Yeah.
I remember helping a buddy of mine and we cracked the top 10.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy cow. We thought we won the race.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we're just a bunch of high school idiots that, you know, we just beat guys that are, they have full-time jobs. They have a lot more money into these cars than we do. And how did we get a top 10?
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. No, yeah. No,
So
that.
a couple of friends from high school, a guy that used to work for my dad at the Ford dealership in town here. I mean, they all raced. And like I said, I went there one time and I was hooked.
Do you know, can you recall what was your quote, quote unquote like first race that you watched on the, television? And that was like for me, for instance, my first ever quote unquote race that I basically started watching NASCAR was the 2001 Daytona 500. And then after that, I've stopped here and there watching because of certain things, but for the most part, that was my beginning
Yeah.
point. So,
Um, I would have to say it was a Martinsville race.
ooh,
They still had the grass.
yeah.
I couldn't tell you what year.
What year? Okay. Do you remember who won?
No, I don't.
No. I'm just guessing. If you roughly said 2007, 2008, you started. It was Martinsville race. I'm not 100% because I personally kind of stopped watching NASCAR in 2007, 2008 because I hated that fucking COT. And when they went to that, I was like, this is the most disgusting looking car I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. I'm like, I'm not watching racing anymore. And I literally stopped watching racing until 2012. And then I and then I started watching it um not as more as a casual than a, every day,
Then
every
a Die
weekend thing.
Hard
Yeah. But in hindsight, I would take that car over what we have now
every day.
10 times over because it's
Yeah,
like it's a little ugly, but it races so much better. Like
yeah. It, we'll get into the car
yeah.
after.
But what I was gonna say is I believe um, Hendrick was very, very dominant um, around that time. So it was probably either Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson probably won that race. Maybe even Dale Jr. did because I can't remember what. But that was when he first started with Hendrick, and he was kind of ass the first few years. But
Got to get used to
yeah.
the environment you're in.
Well, let's go into the last one. What would be your favorite era? And it can be time, it can be a generation of car, it can be a combination of both, whatever. And if you say right now, I'm going to shut this podcast off.
it, it is not right now. I will tell you that. It is not right now. I really enjoyed, I will turn on NASCAR Rewind all the time and
Oh
watch
yeah.
some 90s races and um, listening to the Dale Jr. podcast, download
Hmm.
and hearing about Daryl Waltrip and putting BBs in the side in
Yeah.
the side rail and dumping them out on the track and the ingenuity,
Yeah.
that Mark Martin saying, when I first started at Roush, these guys they would put the body on the car and
Hmm.
then build the car. And he said you build the car and then you put the body on.
Hmm.
And just hearing about how they manipulated the body and the suspension and all their tricks and trades and
Yeah.
that was that was like a huge heartbreaker for me when I heard about this generation car because I'm like,
Hmm.
you are taking partially some of the sport out of the sport.
Yeah.
Tie it back to local stuff or even, dirt late model guys. And you're not running the same springs. You're not running the same everything.
Hmm.
You have this whole open window
Hmm.
and you go through tech. And if you don't make it through tech,
Yeah.
you got to fix what you have or
Yeah.
you're DQ'd. Now it's all this, Alex Bowman last year in the playoffs. Oh, he's light.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's light because the lead fell off on the racetrack, and then they're manipulating the body so the very little that they can. And it's, they're, eject the crew chief or the car chief for the night. And
Hmm.
I mean, let's open these things up a little bit. And like what is it, the Gen 6?
Yeah. The one before this.
Because this one is the Gen
Seven.
7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The Gen 6 it was good, but I think that's when they started getting into the aero stuff a little more.
Yeah. I, I think the Gen 6 got a terrible rap because they were doing so much of the different packages, like big
Yeah.
spoiler, small spoiler, high horsepower, low downforce, and they're
Yeah.
just throwing so many things at it. And I get they're trying stuff, but slowing the car down and putting so much more drag into it made it so much worse. Like I get the whole point behind like when a car gets like for instance like Alex and I were talking about the 2014 season where that was the high horsepower low downforce cars and they sounded sick, they were fast. Um
The
I get
guys
the
had to wheel it.
yeah, you had to wheel it. So like I get in the sense where that can look bad on TV sometimes because some guy will figure it out or something like that and they'll just murder
Drive
them,
them.
just kick their ass. But
Yeah.
to the fans that are watching, they see and understand that. And that's what we want to see. We want to see someone go out and kick ass because when someone kicks ass, that's badass.
They
Like,
did their homework.
yeah,
They dialed themselves in.
yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, back in the early 2000s when Dale Jr. was going on that like 5-year run where he was just dominating at Talladega and Daytona, but
Yeah.
mostly Talladega. He was just that was the guy to beat.
Yeah.
And I was never a Dale Jr. fan back then. I don't know why, but just never was. But it was so fun to watch that race and compare your driver or drivers around because that was the benchmark to beat them. And I hate the whole bullcrap that they talk about now where it's like the big three. Yeah, you're always gonna have the big three. That's what we're going up against. If you don't like the big three, there's other teams that are smaller teams that you can root for. We don't want to be all cookie cutter, the same teams and the same equipment because that's not fun. That's not fun at all. People like an underdog story. People like that stuff, so they root for that stuff. You can't manufacture underdogs. You just have to let it happen. It happens in the world. That's what
Yeah.
the like, and
I
that's what people
pitted
like.
I pitted for a guy when I first got out of the army and came home, and we won everything you could think of in an IMCA modified in North Dakota.
Hmm.
And you know, I remember he would be texting these other drivers like, "Hey, we're on the way. You might as well pack your shit up and leave."
Yeah,
And they knew it too.
yeah,
And
oh
they
yeah,
knew like they see him roll in, they see
yeah,
Robert rolling in. They're
yeah,
like, "All right, we
yeah,
might be fighting for second because we're just gonna get roasted."
yeah,
But that's what makes you better.
hmm,
Like
oh
you
yeah,
got to go back to the shop and you better figure your shit out. Shop, races are won in the shop. They're not
hmm,
won on the racetrack.
yeah,
So I always, my problem is I always think about and I know like NASCAR is on a whole different level, but I always kind of tie it back to like local racing.
hmm,
When you roll up to a racetrack and you see who's I mean, you see Ricky Thornton Jr. in his late model there. You're like,
yeah,
okay, well,
yeah, yeah,
we better brought our A game,
yeah,
because Hudson O'Neal, you better have your shit together,
hmm,
and that's part of the sport. That's
yeah,
part of racing. Hey, you know what? We didn't get it this time. We're just gonna have to go back and try something new.
yeah. That's a it's definitely missed in the sport right now, and it's
Nowadays, it's like, oh, I can't get that close to that guy because I'm in dirty air.
yeah, no, it's so bad, and the car's to blame 100%.
Yeah.
It's the car's fault. And who built that? NASCAR. So
If I had $1 for every time I heard that as a pit man or working on buddy's cars, like it's a car's fault. Like no, no, the car didn't spin itself out.
um, but yeah, you want to get into your weekend you had? I guess it'd be last weekend technically.
Yeah, it was
So
last weekend,
yeah, so you were at
week from
Phoenix,
a week ago
um,
today.
and is that your first time you ever been to Phoenix Raceway?
The
Or
first time I've been to Phoenix, yeah,
Phoenix? Okay,
I went to Atlanta
okay,
years ago. Um, that sunk the hook even more.
yeah. How
Seeing it
many
in real life, and
how many races have you been to? NASCAR ones. We won't count dirt tracks or anything.
I've been to two in Atlanta and one in Phoenix, so three.
Hmm, good.
I want to go more,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me so sad because you're trying to bring in these new people,
Hmm.
and the only way to get a real good taste of the sport is to go and watch it.
Yeah. 100%.
You can't understand. You don't. I took my older brother.
Hmm.
He lives down in Phoenix, and like I said, you turn it on TV and he's like, "This shit's so boring.
Yeah.
They're turning left." I'm like, "No, it's a road
Yeah.
course. They're
Yeah.
turning right too." He's like, "It's just so boring."
Yeah.
And I started tossing the idea around, and I'm like, "Hey, man, like if I buy a ticket, you want to go? I'll buy your ticket. I don't care. We got
Yeah.
infield passes and all that." He started getting a little, texting me about a month before. I'm getting kind of excited. Kind of looking into some of this stuff, and we end up getting down there, and like the whole thing. He said word for word. You watch it on TV, it's way different. You go to the races, the green flag started, the green flag dropped. We had rented some headsets. He had them down around his neck. And I said, "Hey, it's going to be loud, right?" And he said, "No, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to feel it. And
Yep.
that's smell it and see it and everything." And we going to go to Miami next year? And I
Oh
said,
yeah.
"Oh, well, I guess you're kind of hooked now." I don't know if I'll be able to watch it on TV,
Yeah.
but it was a good time. We hit, like I said, we got the infield experience passes,
Mhm.
so we walked through, stopped at some trailers, and went to Toyota. Had a hell of a deal down there. That's
Yeah.
probably, I'm not a Toyota guy.
Mhm.
Seabell's, he's a
Yeah.
dirt dude. My family lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'd pull for him.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
Toyota had,
quick note on that. He got screwed the last 2 years if you're looking at the Winston Cup points, because yeah, so 2 years in a row,
yeah.
and that would have been a story, hell of a story.
Yeah.
But we were robbed of that. So
I mean, yeah, it's infuriating if you look at it, but Toyota did it. They had a DJ, they had a bunch of their car,
yeah,
Tacoma and Tundras. They had all that shit laid out. Ford had a good booth too. They had dipshit Logano's car sitting out there. Um, Ford, Chevrolet had some stuff. Ram was there on the other side. They had
okay,
the truck sitting out there.
yeah.
So it was a really cool on the midway, I guess is what you could call it.
Could could you go up to the car fully, like and touch it, or did they have?
Yep,
Yeah, you could.
yep,
Okay, cool. That's very cool.
yep. So I was like walking my brother around, and I'm like, "That these single lugs." And he
Yeah.
said, "Well, this is NASCAR, right?"
Mhm.
And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Stock car racing."
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
It's ventured off from that. So now stock car is a for everybody that says NASCAR hasn't been, it's not been a stock car in years.
Yeah.
You're 1000% correct. It's a
Yeah.
classification of a race car.
Hmm.
You have the dirt modified, you have a dirt stock car, you have a late model, you have all kinds of stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, walked him up to Logano's car, and he said, "Oh, there's not a lot of room." They had an Xfinity car. Ford had an Xfinity car, and their off-road trucks there.
Okay.
And
Wow.
we got to look into all that, and it was interesting, and just explaining everything to him. And he's like, and I said, "So if you want to go back down to the root of it,
Mhm.
tell me one single production car that has a single lug."
Oh yeah.
You won't,
None.
you know.
Yeah.
And so we made our way into the infield, and man, it was, you walk down the tunnel underneath the track, you get in there, and we could go anywhere.
Yeah.
He, he's a huge into he's a huge sports guy,
Hmm.
football, basketball, baseball. He lives in Phoenix, so he can go to basically anything.
Hmm.
And I told him, I said, "You're not going to have access like this to any other league, any other
No.
sport." And we walked it right up to Larson's pit box, walked through the garage. Nothing was in there because they were all out
Hmm.
on pit road. Walked across pit road and watched driver intros. Met met Dale Jarrett coming down off the NBC booth. Got a picture with him.
Yeah.
They had the NASCAR channel. I didn't know
Okay.
that they had a channel.
Yeah, I didn't know they did either until
The awards.
the award ceremony, and then I just watched it on Tubi because that's free. But yeah, they have a NASCAR channel on Tubi. They have it on Amazon Prime if you have that, I believe. But yeah, apparently they do. So, which that
A
just show
plus
that just sh-
for
well, it's great for them, but terrible marketing. Like, why aren't you telling people there's a NASCAR channel? Like, do you
yeah.
want like there are hardcore people like I would enjoy like there's an
That'd
NFL
be on my
network.
favorites.
There's an NFL network. If there's not a football game on, I can go to that channel and hear more about football.
Yep.
If NASCAR would say, "Hey, we have a channel. You should go check this out."
Strictly for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They were set up right outside of pit road,
mhm.
and they had, like, we walked up and Larson sitting in the chair there doing his thing, doing his interview.
Hmm.
And we walked around, and the the guy who's probably caused the most waves in the sport this last year, I messaged him, DM'd him on X, and I
Hmm.
said, "Hey, I'm going to be down in Phoenix." He said, "Hit me up."
Yeah.
So I messaged him again. Obviously, probably super busy. I
Hmm.
get it. He walks by, and I'm like, "Hey, Mamba Smith."
Oh, yeah.
Introduced myself. He knew exactly who I was.
Yeah.
Spent 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, I'd say, maybe talking to him.
Yeah.
Introduced my brother. Oh, you're the new fan. Blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And I don't agree with all his takes.
Yeah.
And super awesome dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, so polite. Got to got to meet Sophie Cunningham too. Got a picture with her.
I saw that when you sent that.
um, but like I've DM'd Mamba a few times, and
Yeah.
I just said, hey, like I don't agree with what you're saying, but I don't need to be a dirty asshole about it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just be
No,
respectful.
no, I have nothing against Mama Smith. I just it's more or less what sometimes he says, and it's not like his opinion is wrong because it's his opinion, but
Yeah,
it's wrong. It's a wrong opinion when you're trying to say that this is what the sport needs to do, and they've been doing it for the last 10 plus years, longer than that, and
yeah,
it's still failing.
yeah,
Like at some point, you have to say maybe this isn't correct,
yeah,
and there are people out there that are probably asking for an apology from him, but I don't need that. I just more or less want some of these people like him and Bianchi, and there's a few others, uh, Dave Moody,
oh yeah,
that
yeah,
like just look in the mirror for a sec and just say that in the mirror and see if that still resonates because it's not resonating with many fans and you're just alienating
no,
yourself,
further,
and your brand is NASCAR because you work for NASCAR. And I get you can't be super critical on your boss, but you can kind of run the line so you can then the people that are listening to you can kind of read between the lines for the most part. Dale
yeah,
Jr. is probably one of the best at that. Yes, he does get up on his soapboxes and he will tell it as it is, but he does tote the line on some things and he knows what he shouldn't say about NASCAR and what he can say. So, and Dale doesn't specifically work for NASCAR, but he does work in the industry. So,
he's got a hard card.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's good that Mama talks to people like that. I think that helps.
Didn't
But
hesitate a bit,
yeah.
dude. And that right there, I respect the hell out of him because
Mhm.
I've called his ass out,
Oh yeah. A lot of people have.
and he doesn't give a shit. He's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I'll still talk to you."
Hmm.
I've seen him say, "Oh, let's go out to eat. I'll buy
Yeah.
lunch. Let's sit
Yeah.
down and have this conversation. We can figure this out."
Yeah.
Like, if you have that mindset and you're that firm, like he's setting his stance, and
Hmm.
good for him.
Yeah.
Stand up for what you believe in. But back to the race day, like the race day experience was great. It
Hmm.
was awesome. Like as much as I dislike where NASCAR is right now,
Hmm.
I, I wanted to go to it, spend time with my brother, introduce him to something that I like. We've been to baseball games and all kinds of shit. So we both are mutual on that aspect.
Yeah.
Now it's just something where he doesn't know shit about it. I
Hmm.
mean, the drinks were expensive, the food was a little expensive. That's a sporting event, you know.
Correct. Yeah.
We got up to the stands, watched the race. We were planning on going back down to the infield.
Hmm.
And I had that in my mind. I'm like, okay, so if he gets bored, we'll go back down to the infield, go sit up under the shade, watch
Yeah.
it on the screens. Their infield experience at Phoenix is just top notch.
Yeah.
But he never said anything. He was
Yeah.
interested in scanning through and listening to the
Yeah.
drivers,
Yeah.
and he's like, dude, how do they do it?
Yeah.
You have people all over you. You're sitting in a car. You got a guy talking in your ear. You're trying to figure out where you're going. You're trying to
Mhm.
watch other people. And I said, well, and here's the icing on the cake. Sometimes there's two people talking onto you, the spotter
Yeah.
and the crew chief.
Yeah.
And he's just I kind of broke the shell with him. I think I made a
Yeah.
new fan.
Yeah. No, I I think going to the track is one of the best things that anyone that's new to the sport or has never been to a race should go to because you'll have a way different look at what NASCAR is.
Yeah.
Like I told Alex the other week, I went to Iowa 2 years ago, um, and I took two of my buddies, and they're both casuals. They've seen races and stuff like that, and watched them on TV with me, but they've never been to a track or anything like that. And I brought them down there, and they had so many questions. And they already knew some of the stuff, but like
Now you're
there's
getting
just so
into
many
in-depth
questions, and
stuff.
it's hard to talk because they're loud. But
Yeah.
there's so many questions, but you get so many different things from just being at the track, the smells, the taste, um just the amount of speed that some of these cars have going through the
Yeah.
corner. Like when you watch it on TV, I know because I've watched the sport for long enough and I've been to racetracks that I know how fast they're going. But to the casual or the just fan that doesn't know anything about NASCAR or racing in general, when they see it on TV, they're just thinking, "Oh, I could just drive around myself like that." It's not like that. It's
Yeah.
exactly what you were saying. You got people yelling in your ear. You're pushing the car to its most of its
Absolute limit.
limits, like, and it's hot as fuck in there, and yeah, and you're dealing with 36 other people around you doing the
Yeah.
same thing. So
Yeah.
it's not easy, and there's a lot behind it that if you're a casual or you don't understand racing, you'll miss like 99% of it because all you see is cars going on a track and the announcer's just not doing a very good job of explaining that. And it's not all in
Mostly talking
announcers.
about
Yeah.
Fox.
But yeah. Oh yeah. It's not always on the announcers because I get there's only certain things that they can do. But like just for instance, like back in the early 2000s, they used to do a lot more pre-race show stuff and they would have that cutaway car. Jeff Hammond would be down there, Larry Mack would be down there, and they would actually show you on the car physically like what they're talking about. Now they do all the like graphics and shit like that, which is still good, but it's something different about it when they actually have a camera on it and it's like, oh, that's the exact car. Like, boom, that's the spot. Like they don't do any of that. They don't do as much of it, or they don't do any of it, and
Well,
that
there's not much to talk about this car.
well, that's true. That's very true. But even back in the Gen 6 era, they weren't doing as much of that. And I feel like they got away from that. And I think 100% that falls on the Fox broadcast, the NBC broadcast. Like they just don't care as much. So if they don't care, they're not going to put all this energy and time into it.
They've already
So
sold their
yeah.
advertising.
Hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So, and that's so infuriating and frustrating. And I know this isn't like probably a good thing that people want. But I think if NASCAR in their channel that they have, if they ever wanted to, obviously it's nice having a TV like an NBC or a Fox televise it because they pay you, millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But if they could have their own station, their own, and they broadcast it all on there, I think you're going to, over time, be more successful because everyone's going to know it's right there. And the only reason why I say that and do that example is because look at what Flow Racing has done in the last few years.
Oh,
Um, look at um, what is it, Dirt Vision has done.
yeah.
Like they, I know when I want to watch a dirt race or if Kyle Larson's going to be in the race because that's usually the time I watch it. Um, I go to Flow Racing and it's on there. Or if I want to watch some late model races because maybe Dale Jr. is going to be in it or whatever, that's the
Yeah.
place I go to.
Yep.
And I feel like in this day and age, everything's a streaming service, which sucks because you got to have 80,000 streaming services. But I would rather have a full NASCAR streaming service because then I know that's where everything's going to be. Like what the old heads, the old fans
And
liked. They're like, oh, I know it's on Fox. I know it's on NBC, the big network. I know it's going to be on at noon. I know it's going to be on at noon. Noon. It was always on at noon or
yeah,
1 p.m. Eastern time for Eastern people. Like they need to get back to being a clear cut boom boom boom. It's on that
instead
exact
of you got to go here to watch qualifying, you got to go here
yeah,
to watch the 10 minutes of practice.
yeah.
I don't mind having like Xfinity on the CW and
No,
trucks on FS1.
yeah,
But if go into the Cup Series, oh, it's on USA Today, this time,
yeah,
and this time it's on TNT or what's their other channel, True TV.
yeah, True TV. Yeah.
Never mind, we're going to change it up this time. It's going to be on NBC,
Yeah.
and you're like, can we just hit play?
Yeah.
Check
No.
the channel. Boom. I spend more time trying to find where it's at
Mhm.
so I can watch it.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get to start watching it, I'm already pissed because I spent half the day trying to find where it's at. Now I'm more pissed because these guys are freight training around the racetrack
Mhm.
100 yards apart because you can't get up on anybody or else you lose speed.
Mhm.
That's
And
that's a whole
yeah,
entire problem
and
is
the other problem that they're creating with this terrible car is just like you said, they're either driving in a train, but it's not a close train because they can't get right on their ass. Now we're gonna re-rack them for all these stupid stages and stuff, and that's the most quote unquote exciting time, and it unfortunately is the most exciting time. So more people think that that's a necessity. We need to keep them,
yeah.
and we don't because it's truly wrecking the strategy of the whole race because you're literally breaking it up into three almost identical
You
sections.
remember you remember years ago they had that they asked him. I want to say it was Kenza. They said, "Oh, what if you had like pre-planned cautions
Cautions.
through the
Yeah.
race?" And he said, "That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard." And now they're doing it.
Yeah. No, and yeah, and it's a double-edged sword that they're like that we have this terrible car that they gets spread out or it more slinkies because they
Yeah.
like get spread out, then they catch up to the back of the pack, and then everyone kind of closes back up,
The
and
only
just
time you have action, the only and I had to explain to my brother.
mm,
I said, you might see some passing. They're
mm,
bringing a tire, don't know what it's going to do. They've had a lot
mm,
more testing with it because they had all the practice because of the championship round.
mm,
And I said, but you're going to see some tire failures because these teams have to push the
yeah,
limits on everything. And I said, but the only time you're really going to see a lot of action is restarts and coming off a pit road.
mhm,
And lo and behold, what won Kyle Larson the championship? A pass
yeah,
on pit road.
yep, yeah,
And that's the problem with this car.
mhm,
And you can say, well, we did have some passing in Bristol, or we had some passing here. You gotta, like you were talking about, the high horsepower, low, small spoiler,
mhm,
those kind of, like, you put everything in the driver's hands.
yeah,
Now they can get all their data. Oh well, Lucas beat me last week. I'm gonna see where his throttle and brake points are.
mhm,
Well, that's half the battle. You know, if
yeah,
you're on a hot, slick track and you have little to no traction, which is a rare occasion in this car because the tire's so wide,
mhm,
you have so much grip. Like, I know exactly, you hear the guys talking, oh, how are you going to beat SVG at the road course? I have no idea. I bet you I've heard every single driver, whoever did an interview before that. How are you going to beat SVG? No idea. We
yeah,
tried doing it in the sim. We tried doing it at the racetrack. We try to duplicate what he's doing on the racetrack during the race. We can't do it.
mhm,
And that's where that perfect. Let's get back to that. Let's
yeah,
get back to that type of ass whipping where,
mhm,
I don't know what he's doing, but we're going to figure it out. but
Yeah.
you can't do anything because the car is just so limited.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too about the older generation of cars. Like, for instance, the quote unquote big three, they have the most resources, obviously. So, and they usually had the best people working there. Um, they could, that's a quote unquote A tier car. Now, if you had a, let's just say a C driver who maybe didn't have the most talent, but they're talented, you put them in that car, they'll probably win a couple races here and there. But then, heavens forbid, like an SVG maybe got into a B to C plus car, and his talent would be able to push that car farther and maybe even beat that A tier people.
Yep.
Like, and that's so cool to see.
Yep.
Obviously, that doesn't really equate to this car now because they're all fucking the same. But we clearly see his talent level exceed everyone else, and that's why he's able to do that. And even though everyone is irritated, or I wouldn't say everyone, but some people are irritated with SVG winning all these ones, which it is a little annoying, but at the same time, he's just kicking ass. Like, I can't be mad because he's kicking ass. It's a little annoying that they can't close the gap, but that's the whole thing with racing. Like, they have, I think, closed a little bit, but nowhere near. I think he still has a ton out there. But I think in the last few, they have closed it a little bit, but it's still he's still yards ahead of them in what he's
Absolutely.
doing. So,
And I don't have an issue with SVG going out there and whipping everybody's ass.
mm-mm,
I
I
love to
don't either.
watch it. I really do. How he does it, that's the amazing part. You're taking a car, you're sliding, and I've gotten in arguments with drag racers. Oh, drag racing's great. I
Mm-hmm,
go faster than you. I'm like, perfect,
mm-hmm,
cool. You're going straight. Takes talent to put the horsepower to the ground.
yeah,
Now imagine doing that side by side
mm-hmm,
next to another car, sideways. Sorry, back into the dirt stuff, but now you're sideways
yeah,
and you got a guy beating on the back of your bumper. You got a guy that's on the outside of you. And if you're unlucky and you're not on the rail, then you got somebody on the inside.
mm-hmm,
And how do some people do it? I I remember when Larson was suspended, he came up here, he ran with the Outlaws, and
yeah,
I want to say it was in Fargo. And he made that pass. Basically the pass through the grass on dirt
mm-hmm,
and ended up winning that. How did he do that?
yeah,
You get into this car and it's you hear Kyle Busch bitch about it all the time. Thanks NASCAR for like I get up close to this guy to pass him and then I just lose everything.
yeah.
You're literally taking the driver out of the car,
Oh yeah,
and that's the problem.
100%. And it seems like it's changed their driving styles. Not on all of them, but you can clearly see Kyle Busch has had to change his driving style.
Oh
Uh, Chase Elliott had to
yeah,
change his driving style. He's kind of gotten it down now, but he's still not what he was in the Gen 6 car.
no,
Um, he
and I'm not a chase sexual,
yeah,
but
I'm
I
not either.
don't I don't hate the guy, you know.
Yeah.
But you keep with this car, and it's a like you said, it's a cookie cutter car.
Hmm.
It's you got to do the same shit over and over and over again, and everybody has the same shit. You're not going to hear of these guys like Kyle Larson, like Ryan Blaney. Hell, I'll even say Bubba Wallace,
Hmm.
that Ryan Priest type individual that worked their way up. Hey, I've got the talent. This is what I need to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that. You go from Chip Ganassi to Hendrick Motorsports. Well, why did they pick him up? Because the guy's a wheel.
Hmm.
You know, he lost his contract. That's a whole other story. But
Yeah.
you're going to be stuck. Look at Recky.
Ricky.
Like he's not bad,
No, he's not. I think if he would get into a little better equipment, I think he would blossom a little more.
but you're
I
not
think
going to.
no. So um, he was in the Roush pipeline when they were on their way down. So
Yeah, and then he goes to JTG, and then
Yeah,
whatever the hell they call him, so Hayek
yeah,
Motorsports.
Hayek, yeah, hmm
It Chris Busher's another one.
yeah,
You know, you work your way from the bottom. The only one I would say that is a really good resemblance of working your way up is Carson Hocevar.
yeah,
And that goes back to like the whole entire charter agreement, not Carson, but the way these drivers get their seats. The
hmm
charter agreement, I don't even know if it's on your agenda, but the whole lawsuit with 2311 and all that, good for them.
oh yeah,
I NASCAR needs to start paying these teams some more so
hmm
that way you don't get idiots in there that have, oh well, we don't have a driver, but this guy's got $60 million coming with him, or $6 million.
Riley Herbst,
There you go. Daddy's flipping the bill. It's okay.
yeah,
Can't drive a hot nail up a snowman's ass, but he's got money.
hmm
If you take the talent out of the sport, you're just gonna have a bunch of monkeys running around on a track, and
yeah,
that's you're not gonna see the guys going from the back to the front and
no,
the mid pack movement. That's not on pit road. That's
yeah.
not on restarts.
You're not gonna get those iconic moments. You know,
No,
obviously you're going way back to when Dale went through the grass to pass Bill Elliott, but you're not gonna get any of the like Dale Jr. is arguably a very talented driver, even though that's another story. I feel like
his
his
career didn't speak for it.
no, it didn't, and I feel like his dad's death spiraled it into a muck, but then he kind of got it back for Hendrick, but then he had his concussion issues. So, but he arguably, it was really fun to watch him, even though he wasn't my driver, on these super speedway races. Like clearly they had some extra things in the car, but he also knew what to do with it. It's one thing
Yeah,
to have the fastest car out there, but now can you use it? Like,
yeah,
and he could, and it was so much fun to watch his talent. Tony Stewart, dude, fucking can almost drive. Well, he can drive literally anything and succeed in it. And you're not going to get those type of people because they usually don't have funding behind them.
yeah. The
And
grassroots, the Ricky Thornton Juniors of the world.
yeah,
He, you know, I've seen him run around North Dakota,
hmm
the Dakota Modified Tour. I went on that years and years and years, and he'd kick the dog shit out of everybody. He gets into a dirt late model, kicking the dog shit out of everybody. Gets into a quarter midget. I don't know. I think he's doing pretty decent on that. I mean, he got into a full 410 sprint car, but he has grassroots money. He
hmm
doesn't have these high dollar bids to
yeah,
give him a shot.
yeah,
And it's sad because there's untapped potential. There's always going to be untapped potential. But
hmm
these guys that are standing out, I mean, Steve Kinzer tried NASCAR, wasn't worth
yep,
a damn, went
no,
back to the dirt.
hmm
That's fine. Stuart Friesen, he's got that partnership, so he's able to run his truck and all that. And uh, thank God that he's alive.
yeah,
Honestly,
that,
like that wreck was horrific,
yeah,
but it's that when I saw that they carry $100 million in profits,
hmm
that's when you need to sit down. Like that's how the whole car got brought up. Well, we're going to save the team's money.
yeah,
And the teams did say, you guys need to save us or we're going to price ourselves out of the sport.
hmm
Okay, perfect. The car's not, you've heard Denny talk about it on his podcast. That car's not any more cheaper than any other ones.
no,
The underbody is what, 50 grand on it.
I don't know the exact numbers, but
I
like
mean,
it's like a, I
don't
think it's
quote me.
a $300,000 race car basically.
Yeah,
So,
it's the single lug is going to make everything safer. There's been more
Bruce,
proven fact.
yeah,
I'll
I know.
look it up. Like I hate to do this in the middle
Oh,
of this,
that's
but
fine. Yeah,
I
they've
have it bookmarked on X for this exact reason.
yeah, no, they've lost more single lug wheels than the five lug wheels in the last I don't even know how like 35 plus years.
There were 45 detached wheels from 94 to 2021.
Wow.
Four.
But
45.
yeah.
A grand total of 400 wheels have detached in the history of the three national touring series. 68 were from crash damage, 44 from the next gen car, 181 in NASCAR's modern era, 1972 to present.
Yeah.
I don't think the single lug is doing anything.
No.
And then you get the pit crew needs to do it. That corresponds right back to the car. You
Mhm.
can't pass on the racetrack. They have to do it.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to try to get it off there. I listen to Door Bumper Clear,
Hmm.
and that shit. Listen to what's his name, Tommy on
Yeah.
there. You know, Rick Ware Racing. It was every week they were losing a tire,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but if you can't pass on the racetrack, you're gonna have to try to do it somewhere else.
Hmm.
This independent rear suspension. Uh, I don't really know what to think about it. Like I don't know the specific details on what they're doing. I know that they can only run a certain springs that they can run in it.
Hmm.
Like the sequential shifter, you've seen me say it several times. This is a sports car with a
Yeah.
stock car body and
Hmm.
numbers.
Yeah.
And you look into the people who helped NASCAR develop this car, they came from IMSA, F1, and IndyCar.
Hmm.
Nothing about that screams stock car racing
No.
at all.
I also find it really interesting when Kyle Larson went and did Indy, and he said that the cars were very similar, like in feel.
Yeah.
And clearly one's a little lighter than the other, but the fact that he says that, like that should show some red flags there, I feel like, because that's
Just a
not,
little.
yeah,
Just a little.
that shouldn't be the case.
I mean, the
Uh,
guys won everything other than the Kentucky Derby.
yeah. So,
I mean, the quick the fixes for this car, they're going to try some more horsepower. Great.
hmm,
But I think the major fix that they need to do is they need to put the air back on top of the car,
yeah, yeah,
not through the bottom,
hmm,
not through the diffuser, and that'll clean up a lot of it.
hmm,
I, they say they kind of they made the car a little bit more flexible. How many people have been retired or hurt because of this car getting in a wreck? Kurt Busch being one of them, retiring because of concussions.
correct.
That wasn't even really that big of a. I,
No,
you say that on the outside looking in.
well, yeah, it didn't look like a big hit when you it obviously was a big hit, but like there's no crush. Like
Yeah,
I'm used to seeing like those when they back it into the wall when they used to, and the whole thing just accordions up like a fucking accordion, and it's
yeah,
just smashed up, and you're like, holy shit, that was a big hit. And
like
then
an
you,
Xfinity car.
yeah, but you see his wreck, and it looked like it just like boing, like just bounced off, and it's like that hurt him. Like I get, yeah, it was probably a massive hit, but there was no crush zones, so it just he took all
The
the
force has to go
he
through
took it all.
something.
Yeah,
It's Ryan Blaney hit smacking the wall as many times as he has at
he's gotten lucky.
195.
Yeah.
Like, I, and then he gets back in and does it.
Mm,
I get it; it's a job,
mm.
but it was Cody Ware at Chicago. I'm surprised
Oh,
that he's still alive too.
yeah, that was a
So
big hit.
there's a lot of things that need to be fixed with this car. Take the damn camera mirror out of it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It it
You know what
makes it way too easy.
the funny thing on that stupid camera thing is too? They're all like, "Oh, every car has that." Yeah, every car has a backup camera, but only certain vehicles can have that on at all times, and it's usually the high end vehicles. Otherwise, your average daily person that has a rear view camera, right when they take it out of reverse,
It goes
it's
away.
gone. It's
Yeah,
not there. So,
yeah,
yeah, you're you're contradicting yourself with that. You're
yeah.
contradicting yourself with the stupid one lug nut because no car out there has one fucking lug nut. Um,
And it
yeah,
really hasn't helped the sport.
no. And I argue that putting one lug nut on there has taken away the excitement of pit stops. You know how fun and exciting to see them have to hit five fucking spots, and you can see them or not purposely, but accidentally miss. You're like, oh shit, I watched them miss that. This is
Yeah,
literally just the only time they're messing up with these is if they drop the little lug or if they don't get it on all the way.
yeah.
That's the only mistake that they're doing. And that's the like, and now we're having issues with fueling and shit like that because you got to have, if you went back to the five lug nut, we wouldn't have the stupid fueling issue where it's like, oh, how many do we wait? How long do we wait? Like, because you have
Oh,
the tires or the wheels being put on faster than the fuel can get in there. So what are we gonna do? Get pressurized fuel where it's shooting it in there? I don't want that. Like,
there's already fires already.
I
I
know.
mean, just
Like,
when they said it takes longer to fuel the car than it does to put wheels on. And you know what? I'm good. I'm open for change.
mhm,
They're obviously open for change. And I was real weary about this next gen car. And I said, we'll see what it's like.
mhm,
And then that first Daytona race, and you had what, six, seven cars lose wheels.
yeah,
And now you have people holding iPads out on pit road.
go.
Make sure you get enough fuel in there.
Yeah,
You know, it's part of the game. It's part of the sport. You
yeah,
know, it's part of their strategy. I don't necessarily take the whole. It doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, it's you hear like I listened to the Dale Jr. download this week,
mhm,
and how he said, you know, they probably weren't putting all the lugs on there, and that's how they got out in front pit
yeah,
road
yeah,
before us. But they had them there at the end, and that's all
yeah,
that matters.
yeah. And I actually miss that aspect when you would hear, oh, at the end, so and so had two lug nuts
Yeah,
loose.
secure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was like, holy shit, like
yeah,
that's kind of cool and fun to hear. It sucked when it was your driver. You're like, fuck, you guys idiots. Like, damn it.
yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
like, I don't know. That's part of the sport, like part of the sport in a way. And that was a fun aspect. Like, oh shit, did he get them all on there? Um,
And you don't hear a lot like Denny getting DQ'd at Pocono
oh
because of
yeah,
graphics. You know,
that,
we went to Boone, Iowa years ago. A buddy of mine, he's an IMCA modified national champion.
uh,
If anybody knows anything about IMCA, there's only one from North Dakota,
mhm,
and you know who he is. We go down to Boone, Iowa for Super Nationals.
yeah,
He gets second in this qualifier. And when you go to the tent at Super Nationals, you better be ready to get tore down. And
mhm,
I've seen him do every, you know, like it's legit tear down.
yeah.
And the tech guys come over with this big ass check and they're crossing the name out of the guy
Oh,
because he had titanium valve springs. It's a crate motor, so you can't do
you can't.
anything to
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
They're writing his name on there. Well, here you go. You just won.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I don't know the stats on how it is in
Yeah.
NASCAR, but like when Denny got DQ'd, I was like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like whatever
Yeah.
for 2 millimeters or
Oh,
four
yeah.
millimeters on his wrap. Like
Yeah. And
you see it more in Xfinity or the
yeah.
O'Reilly Auto Parts series now.
Yeah. Um,
Not so much in Cup.
yeah. I really miss that aspect of where they were the gray area where they can manipulate stuff because
Yeah,
I was never at a race where you could see all that stuff because it more or less usually was at Daytona and Talladega when they used to like put out the parts and the teams could see like what illegal parts they confiscated. The fans could go up and see it too. Like
yeah.
that's
You
just
don't see that shit
no,
anymore.
that's the one of the coolest parts of the sport is just the ingenuity to to do that stuff. Like the Chad Knaus, Jimmy Johnson era. I was never a Jimmy fan. Jimmy drove me fucking insane, but he was damn good.
Yep.
And those two together were just like PB&J, and you knew Chad Knaus was cheating every week. And cheating, I'm not saying is a bad thing. That's part of the sport. Engineering, cheating, whatever you want to call it.
If you
But
ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
yeah. So it was fun to see, well, not fun because, but it was like these guys, he was just really good at that. And
Yep.
that's also another really fun thing about when Dale Jr. has guests on from old show or from the old time, and he tries to get them to tell him, you know,
Your
what'd you guys,
ingenuity
yeah,
secrets.
what'd you guys do? Because, and then you go back and you watch some of those races that, and you're like, you can't see it, but you're like, no shit, that's why they're
Yeah.
kicking everyone's ass right there.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the sport is completely missing. Not
And
only are they
even
not only are they missing other like the car issue, the point system, the whole uh, upper
brass.
yeah, people that are running the fucking sport, but like that is the main part. Like no other sport can you do that. Of
No.
course, in football, baseball, basketball, yeah, you can take steroids, but they've basically locked that completely out. That's not happening. Like this is one aspect of NASCAR that separates it from every other sport, and every other sport would like to have something like that. Obviously, you don't want someone cheating, but this is a gray area cheating.
Mark Martin said it.
So
He did it. He said it in his podcast that he had, that he did it throughout his whole entire career. And he said, you know, you're doing good in racing if they're making rules
yeah,
to stop what you're doing.
hmm yeah,
And these, if you're not in the gray area, you're not trying.
hmm
We we've done it. I know a lot of people who've done a lot. I've
yeah,
doped tires
yeah,
and all kinds of shit, and
yeah.
I've seen guys that go out and win $5,000, and I'm like, oh, I know how you got that. I know exactly how you got that. We were drinking beer, watching you do it last night. You know, but did you get busted? No,
No,
no.
yeah,
But shit, you know, you kind of feel bad, but at the same time, you if you're taking the aspect of trying, like try
yeah,
something, you
yeah,
know, try something new. You live in this box,
yeah,
and it's don't go outside the box. If you
hmm
try to go outside the box, we're gonna fine you, and we're
hmm
gonna suspend you.
yeah,
So just stay in this box. But nobody's in the box. They're all on the outside of the lines.
yeah, yeah,
This car, everybody's in the box. They
hmm
might be getting close to the lines with some
yeah.
of the things that they can manipulate, but it's so hard to say, oh, we don't want to lose the integrity of the sport and let people get away with things and do this. And I've heard, I can't remember whatever guest he had on the Dale Jr. download, and the guy said I knew exactly what I could do depending on who was inspecting the car.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I knew what he was going to look at,
yeah,
you know, and he had their year end show or whatever, and he had somebody lift up this helmet. That helmet probably weighed 60 pounds. And he's like, yeah, that's what they used to wear, or that is what he used to put in his car to go across the scales. Like,
yeah.
well, no shit. You know, you don't see that stuff anymore. I
No,
don't know if you could qualify that as nostalgic,
yeah.
but if you limit something so
Well,
it's just like the NFL. You have so many rules that they've ruled the game out of the game.
yeah, true.
What's pass interference nowadays?
Yeah,
Nobody knows.
no, yeah. Whatever, whichever ref calls it, that's
Yeah. And it's all an interpretation rule.
yeah.
So, man,
Uh,
I,
the the
I
one,
like the
yeah,
sport. I want to see more of the sport. I want to see guys come from 20th and win. Not
yeah.
because they did it on pit road,
Oh yeah,
not because they wrecked everybody in front of them.
because they had a damn good car. I
Yeah.
I miss the times of where people would like not to point out Matt Kenseth, but Matt Kenseth in his championship year was a terrible qualifier, but he would just grind away and drive all the way up through the fucking pack and get a
Yeah.
top 10 or a top 5 because his
Yeah.
car wasn't that good, but it was good enough to get it up there. And Dale Earnhardt was another one like that. He usually didn't qualify the greatest towards the end of his career, but he would still drive his way fucking up there. Like Ryan Blaney the other week at Martinsville. That was fun to
Yeah.
watch. He drove his
Yeah.
ass through that whole pack, and
You get the
unfortunately,
one offs here and there,
yeah,
but you know, you hear about these old timers and the when Tony Stewart was on the Rubbin' Is Racing
Hmm.
podcast, and he was saying that the drivers told NASCAR, give us a tire that wears, give us some horsepower so we can drive.
Hmm.
And he said, because that you have a tire that wears, you're going to have somebody that, okay, they're
Yep.
gone. And then 50 laps later, see you later.
Yeah.
Like, I'm passing you now.
Yep.
There isn't any of that anymore.
No.
And I'm glad, now that we're talking about tires, I'm happy to see what Goodyear's doing.
Hmm.
I think it's slightly putting a band-aid
Oh yeah.
on a missing limb,
Yeah.
but you're the direction they're going is super helpful for where the sport is right now. We're
Hmm.
obviously not going to get a new car. We're not going to get a huge change of this car.
Hmm.
So we might as well just put lipstick on a pig and we'll call it a supermodel for now.
Yeah.
And that's through the tires.
Yeah. No. Um, I'm glad that Goodyear has slowly started to figure it out, but yeah, it's definitely better than what it was, but
No tire wear.
yeah, it's
Or you get the Bristol race in the spring and it's, oh, we
yeah,
run 3 laps. We got cords
Forbes.
showing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
So I don't know. It they're doing their best. I don't blame them for anything that what they do because they're at least trying something. NASCAR's just like, nah, we can't do anything. It's too expensive. Goodyear, do it. Like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah. It'll
like
cost the teams too much money. Well,
what
the
you're
teams would probably have some money if you paid them.
that too. If you would have, yeah, and also if you just like, I I'm not gonna say they're smarter than most of us fans because I don't know if they are, to be honest with you. But are they considering the fact if they're not fixing this issue, it's hurting them in the long run? Like, yeah, you got to upfront the money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking money, but are you killing yourself in the long run by just letting this car play out and not fixing it or not getting something else in there sooner than later because people it's turning people off. Because 100% of the reason why a lot of people are leaving is two things: the system that the points are running and the car. There's obviously a bunch of other little minute things, but those are the main two.
Yeah.
And one of them's an easy fix because it's not going to cost you shit, and the other one's going to
Paperwork.
cost you a lot. So,
Yeah. I they've got to be losing their ass.
mm,
Phoenix, when we were there, they said it was sold out. It was packed.
mm,
Is it because it was a championship race? Probably. Is it because it was the last time it was going to be in Phoenix because it's going to Miami next
yeah,
year? More than likely.
mm,
But I should have did it before I got on here. But I'd like to see the ticket sales comparative to the spring race and the
oh,
championship
yeah,
race.
yeah,
And you got to have some type. Okay, these people are coming to watch championship race. These people are coming because it's the last time it's going to be in Phoenix for a year
mm,
or two, wherever they're going after Miami.
yeah,
Which that's going to be hard to do because you're not you can't go across country in November.
no,
If we had a NASCAR track here,
yeah,
they ain't coming up in here in November. No
oh, yeah,
way.
not a chance.
Them guys would be freezing their ass off. Not happy.
Hey, you know what really, really pissed me off? I can't remember who said this. I don't know if it was Mamba or someone else in the media, because that whole conversation they were having about moving the final race around, they're like, "Ooh, we should go to Kansas because it has such a good race going on." And then they're like, "But it's going to be so cold, the fans aren't going to want to come out." And I'm like, "Are you guys fucking brain dead?" Like, I understand, like, people in the South might not want to, but Missouri is Kansas City, like the Chiefs. They're a outdoor stadium. Those fans
Yeah.
go out. Lambeau Field. I've gone there 4 or 5 times. That's part of the nostalgia is going out in the cold to do that. Like
Yeah.
your drivers
Come
might be,
prepared.
yeah, your drivers might be whiny and cry, but the fans and the people that live in those colder states, they'll just go out. They don't care. That's
Oh,
like like
better cancel a race because it's too hot.
yeah,
No, I wasn't a dumbass. I
yeah,
flew from North Dakota to Arizona. It went from 30 degrees. I got off the airplane. It was 70.
yeah, oh yeah,
When we went to the race, it was 90,
yeah,
85, 90. I
yeah,
didn't wear pants. I didn't
yeah,
wear a jacket. I wore
mhm,
shorts, white legs showing and everything. Wear pants at work all the time. Like
mhm,
you take what you need to go to the race.
yeah,
Oh, I want to go to this football game and it's
yeah,
20 degrees out. All right, let's wear shorts.
yeah,
No, you're gonna wear some warm shit.
yeah,
It's not in their narrative,
mhm,
so they're trying to find ways to turn people away from doing it.
yeah. No, I agree with that, and that's I I don't. Do they not see that? That's what. Well, they clearly don't because they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot every time. But it's
It's the
like,
same, yeah. It's the same thing when it comes to TV ratings.
yeah,
Oh well, we lost TV ratings. Well, it's because of NFL.
yeah,
The NFL just didn't pop up out of the
yeah.
middle of nowhere.
Well, yeah,
Like you're not going to beat football. I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
Good luck.
yeah, no. It
Hell, I've been watching more football this fall than I have NASCAR.
same. But
But that the car and the I don't know. What do you think about the points?
so I think it has to go to a full season. I get some people don't like full season. Uh, every other big motorsport, F1, IndyCar, even World of Outlaws, High Limit, uh,
Lucas Oil tried the
yeah,
playoff thing, didn't
yeah,
work.
like they all have a full season points. And I get some people want to compromise and be like, "Ooh, we should do the 10 race chase." And I'm not like, "No, don't do that. It's terrible." I'm not like that, but why will we do that when we can have a full season point? Make every race count. Every race will have to matter. That means if someone fucks up on the very first race, hence Tony Stewart did it when he won his championship in 2002, when he blew his motor in the Daytona 500, and then he ended up winning the championship at the end. But it makes storylines, and for all these people like Jordan Bianchi that think there's no gonna be no storylines, it's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna have to really try hard. Like when someone does have a bad day, like Ryan Blaney would have been an amazing story throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
He had so many DNFs, and I think on both full season points, the Winston Cup one and the just the full season of the points they use now, I think he got to fifth, and I don't know what the other one is, but he still fought his way back up. He wasn't going to be able to contend for a championship because he had
Look
so
at
many
that comeback.
DNFs. But like that would have been a bunch of storylines, like him trying to come back, but in the end, that's
It
what bit
didn't
him in the
work
ass.
out.
So
Yeah.
it was the
It didn't.
DNFs, and some of the DNFs were not his fault. Or like the William Byron and uh, Austin Dillon when they hit each other. That would have been a huge story. It was a huge story anyways because they're in the playoffs, but it would have been a huge story then because he would have been, fighting.
He's up there. He's
Yeah,
well. What was he? Top three, top four in
yeah,
points.
somewhere around there.
And
But
now to ruin. But oh well, he built up enough playoff points so he can
yeah,
carry them.
yeah,
Like
and they talk about always. Oh, if we go to a 36 race, people are just going to points race. They're just going to points race. They're just going to points race. I am so tired of hearing that. They're not going to points race. The
they
reason why
points
people,
race right now.
yeah, I know they pick that out. They're like, all we need to do, all I'm just gonna pull a name out. All uh, Jeb Burton needs to do is finish this spot in eighth, and then he'll clinch a spot to the next round. That's points racing.
Yeah,
Like you guys are talking about points racing, and then you're mad to go to a full season because they're doing a points race, and they're not.
and they're
Some
just
will, some
it's
will.
doing the good enough.
Yeah,
Ah, we did good enough.
yeah. Like, and that was just an interview thing. That was them being, I don't know, annoyed. I don't know what was going on in their head. Maybe they were just like, I'm irritated. I guess it was a good points finish. Whatever. I didn't have any fucking issues with it. I was like, whatever. I'm in my own little world worrying about Ward Burton, what he's gonna fucking do, or Casey Kane when I switched to Casey Kane. I was like, that's like I don't care about what their interview says unless it's my driver. And they're not points racing. Every race car driver that goes to a racetrack wants to win. Now there are different tiers of them, so it's harder for them to win. So then they're going to be like, okay, I think a top 10 is basically a win for me here. I think a top 20 is basically a win for me here. That's not points racing. That's just being realistic.
Yeah.
So,
It, they race, you see it every stage break.
mhm.
You'll hear the driver. Do we want to stay out and get these points,
Yeah, I'll
or
go.
do we need to pit
Yeah,
and we'll just try again next stage?
yeah, yeah.
Like what you're so worried about stage points.
Hmm.
I don't think stages have ruined or driven down the sport as much as the playoffs have.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I'm not I'm not opposed to getting rid of them. I'm not opposed to keeping it.
Yeah.
It's a horse apiece. We've had it for how many years now? It's just kind of one of them
Hmm.
things. It's a nice time to go get up and get another beer. But
Yeah.
if you take it goes back to the Kenza thing. Well, that's the stupidest damn idea I've ever heard.
Hmm.
Having you know organized cautions in the middle of the race.
Yeah.
It's nice to see them stack back up and get after it again after a restart and be able to get fresh tires and all that and see some of these underfunded these lower tier teams get some more points.
Hmm.
But you're just telling people if you can just do good enough for 62 laps,
Hmm.
we'll reset the table and you can just do good enough for another 62 laps.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of screwed from there.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the stages is I think Carl Edwards said it the best when he was like,
Is it everyone in this room? Is it your understanding that when they throw the green flag, right, that the only reason another flag is going to come out, like a yellow one or a red one, before that checkered flag comes out, if there's a condition on the racetrack that is unsafe to continue the race? Is that what everybody understands? If we start getting away from that and we say, okay, halfway through the race, we're going to throw a caution, we're all going to line back up. Well, now it's two races, or where the first race doesn't even matter. Now you just got a shorter race. The lead in basketball is a figurative one. It's a score. So it's as if you stop the quarter in basketball and then you even the score. In racing, I go out there and I gain an advantage. Maybe not this track, but at most tracks, I gain a big advantage. That caution erases that advantage. It's my opinion, my humble opinion. I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but it's my opinion that takes something away from the sport.
You
like
go back to
that doesn't
zero.
make sense. That doesn't make sense at all.
Oh, well, you got 10 points.
Yeah. So, but I think stage racing, if they leave it or don't leave it, I think they just need to eradicate the stopping and just pay out the points because we've lost the green flag pit stop.
Yeah.
You'll still see like one a race
Dude.
maybe two, but that a green flag pit stop, there's so much, and they talk about, oh, it's a team sport. There's so much execution that has to go on there, and it's done under green. It's
You can flip the field.
Yeah, there's so much strategy behind all that that is eradicated with stages because you're basically running three different races. You're running two similar races right away, and then you have a little longer stint at the end.
Yeah.
And uh, like,
I hear the argument all the time. Well, then you get this dude who's 7 laps down and this guy who's 8 laps down. Well, that's part of the sport.
well, yeah, they had a bad car, and you could clearly tell through the whole like why have a 400-mile race if you're basically telling the fans the first two stages aren't that critical. You can get points, but really just show up in the last stage. Kind of like, well,
Just like
don't
the playoffs.
yeah, don't worry about the playoffs or the regular season. Just watch in the playoffs when their viewership numbers are complete opposite.
Yeah. All you need to do is win, and we'll worry about the ass end of the season.
Yeah.
And so you get stage breaks, playoffs, overtime. this isn't stick and ball sports.
Yeah.
And granted, I see what they were trying to do. I understand it. Like trying to pull Joe Blow, like, hey, we have quarters too. You
Yeah.
know, we have inning breaks. We have overtime just in case
Yeah.
we have overtime. And we have playoffs.
Yeah. The
My hugest argument with the playoffs
mm,
when you watched the Super Bowl last year, the
mhm.
Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are getting their asses handed to them.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't have the Oakland Raiders, the Denver Broncos, and the LA Chargers
Play.
playing at the same time
Yeah.
against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Giants.
Yep.
That you can't, it's back to my brother. I'm explaining this, and
Mm,
he's the one who kind of put it in my head. He said,
yeah.
"What?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, they call it a playoff, but everybody gets to play."
Yeah.
And he goes, "So the guy who hasn't won anything at all," and I said, we were at the racetrack, and I said, back to what you said a couple of weeks ago. Poor JJ Yaley, several laps down. I said,
Yeah.
that guy could hit Denny Hamlin right now, who's just waxing the field, and
Yeah.
Denny's day would be over.
Mhm.
He has nothing to do with the championship. He has nothing to, hell, he didn't even run full time, but
No.
he could wreck, he could
Mhm.
ruin a guy's entire season.
Correct.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No.
They're going to, everything that I've read, everything that I've done, my own independent investigating and bullshitting with people,
Mhm.
they're going to keep the playoffs.
Yeah, I have a feeling about that. Yeah.
I want a 36. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
The 3-3-4. Okay. It's still the playoffs.
Yeah. Well,
You're going to see the guys that, oh, hey, I won twice.
yeah. What's the difference? And this is why I think it's probably gonna be a 10. What's the difference between a 3-3-4 and a 10 race? Like besides the elimination part, you know? Like
It's the elimination part.
yeah. So
And I assume they're going to reset the points every round.
and
Which
that's
is, that's another dumbass thing there.
oh that's it's it's such a waste of everyone's time with these resets and all that. It's like then what was the point of doing those other races before that? So I can get to the next round, cool. But now we're gonna reset points again, like
But I can't tell you how much it irritates me when I hear, oh well, the New York Giants when they won the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, they had a hell of a playoff run.
yeah,
Well, they didn't get through the divisional round, and then the whole entire fucking season starts over again.
yeah,
They
no,
didn't get through, or the wild card, then the divisional, and then the conference, and it resets every time.
yeah, no,
They still had to deal with their injuries and the teams that they were playing and their injuries
hmm
and all the other bullshit that's going on. You get into NASCAR and it's, well, this guy could come alive during the during the playoffs.
hmm
Granted, okay, yeah, if he wins. But just yesterday, you were just saying how hard it is to win in NASCAR.
yeah,
You can't eat, you're burning the candle at both ends. It's hard to win in NASCAR, but he can build a playoff run. Okay, so yeah, he could probably get some points built up, but then come the next round, his playoff points are shit.
yeah,
How do you build a run in that when it gets reset every time? Get rid of the reset. If you're going to keep the playoffs, which they probably are,
oh yeah,
I want a 36. The reason I want a 36 is it's a full year of work.
hmm
I'm sure eventually, through time, you're going to see the guy that wins a race or two, and he's going to go,
yeah,
let's save our shit for the playoffs.
yeah,
And you can be like, yo, dude, you won the first two races of the season. We still have the entire season to go. Oh, just save it to
hmm
the end. We're in.
yeah,
William Byron could have done that.
oh yeah,
We're in.
Yeah. Well, they kind of did, um, with because once they were in, what was it, Michigan and all those other ones? They're like,
Yeah.
who cares if we run on a field? We're already locked in the playoffs. So
But
we're either gonna get this win and get that extra playoff point, or we're just in the playoffs. So,
and it's still the manufactured drama.
hmm
Now you're at oh, you gotta to use it or lose it, or the hell with it. Who
yeah.
cares? We're gonna go for it. Go for broke.
hmm
Well, which is also cool, but it's also cool in the 36 because this guy goes, hey, if we finish, our first 10 races of the season, we didn't do worth shit.
Yeah.
So we have to average an eighth place finish every single race for the rest of the season to be in contention
hmm
for the cup. Okay, perfect. So now he's sitting back in 10th. Hey, do we pit here or do we stay out?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But at the same time, the guy who goes, yeah, let's pit, and then it doesn't work out, or let's not pit and they run out of gas, well, at least we tried. You're going for broke. Now we got to go from finishing eighth all year. Now we got to finish sixth.
hmm
Your goals reset instead of the points reset, and it's oh well, we're in the postseason. Who cares? There's there's no consequence.
Yeah. Or
Like oh shit, we ran out of gas, but we're still in playoffs.
hmm
Now it's like oh shit, we ran out of gas, but now we got to work even harder
hmm
to stay where we're at or move forward.
Yeah. So if it was a full season points, do you have a recommendation or what you would like to see as the points system for the 36 if it was? Or
You got
heavens
you got
forbid if it's a 10 race chase, we could still use that same point system.
you
You know what I mean?
you gotta put more emphasis on winning.
So, yeah, I would agree with that.
Like if you win, you got to have more points than
Yeah,
second, not
correct.
five. You
No,
got to have 10 or
no.
more.
Yeah.
Your top 10, like that's a huge thing.
hmm
You hear guys, oh yeah, the X amount. Corey Heim kicked the dog shit out of everybody in the trucks. How many top tens did he have? Everybody's focused on top tens and top fives. There
hmm
should be a big difference between race winner, top five, top 10.
Yeah,
Race winning, you get a shit ton of
sure.
points. Top
Yeah.
five, okay, you break up second, third, fourth, and fifth by
hmm
a point or two.
hmm
And then you go six, seven, eight, ninth, and 10th, you break it up even more
More.
from 5 to 6, you take a 4 or 5 point drop.
hmm
I'm not real detailed on how the
Oh,
points are laid out exactly, but
yeah.
you got to have a like, hey, we can get a top five here. William Byron at Michigan, like he said,
Yeah.
we can get a top five here. That's 3 more points
hmm
than running six. Let's see how far we can go. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. It's just so you build up, the playoffs. It's oh, you win and you're in. You could take the rest of the year off. You could try shit differently. But if you get that huge break in points from winning to 11th,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you're going to try your ass off.
To
And
win.
you have to try your ass
Yeah.
off.
Well, so I like that breakdown a lot, because that puts emphasis on, hey, if I get a top 10 compared to a top five, I want that top five more because it's going
Yep.
to pay me out more. And then
Yeah.
obviously the win. So I'm, I'm truly up for any sort of full season points because I think it's just going to, the legitimacy of the system needs, we need that so bad because you're not going to have as many people saying, oh, this person wasn't deserving. But
Joey Logano.
yeah, correct. Long story short, uh, I'm not against them using the points that they use now and then just gifting the winner way more points. But a proven method that has been proven for 25 plus years, more than that, 35 plus years, is the Latford system. The Latford system has a great track record. The only issue was the winner did not get enough points. That was the main issue on that. And many drivers, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, and many fans said they didn't want anything changed from 2003 to 2004. All they wanted was more points awarded to the winner. And then we got the chase. So, what I've been doing, and I have it all done, is, and I've been releasing small little videos of each um, year, is, oops, I just have been doing a comparison between the Latford system and this new Latford system that I'm just dubbing as the 2.00, because in a regular Latford system, the winner gets 175 points, and then it goes down 5 point increments to sixth place. And then after sixth place, then it goes 3 point increments all the way down to 43, which obviously we don't get 43 cars anymore, but whatever. If they just reward the winner with 200 points, that's a 25 more points, and that drives the point home that you need to win. So then, with all these seasons, and I've gone all the way back to like 1972, um, it doesn't take away the consistency aspect. You still want to be consistent, but anyone that has a lot of wins, it helps their
Works.
case. Yes, because they won. So, for instance, the 2003 debacle with Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth, and then also on there I put everyone's average finish that year, so you can see how well they did throughout the year. Matt Kenseth, I can't remember offhand. It was like he did like 10.7, only one win. Ryan Newman had 8 wins, and then it was like a 13 or 14 average finish. So like 4 positions off, and that's pretty big amount gap right there.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman finished, I believe it was, shoot, seventh around there in points. If they would have been using the 2.00 2.0, giving the winner 200 points, Ryan Newman would have finished third in the points, and he would have been 170 some points back from Matt Kenseth, which he still would have not won, and he didn't deserve to win because he had so many DNFs. But
Yeah.
it brings in that fact that, oh, if people look at that, they're like, oh yeah, Ryan Newman did get 8 wins and he got the most wins that season, but he was so inconsistent. That's why he didn't win. But with giving them 200 points, that's 25 more points than what they were getting before, and that's a total of 30 points that they're getting compared to second place. And put on top of that, if they get the most laps led, then it's an extra 10 points. It drives home the fact that you want to win. And I think whatever system they do, which I'm just biased because I've been doing this for the last like 2 weeks, more than that. But I think the system works because it's a proven system, and all you're doing is adding more points. And I know they tried to add more points in the chase system when they rewarded it like 185, and then they also went up to I think 95 at one point. But 200, it just, I don't know, it works, and it changed a few of the championships, but obviously that's hypothetical, whatever. It just brings more legitimacy, and it brings it home that you want to win. So then someone's not going to just be like, I'm going to sail at home second, even though I truly don't think they're doing that. They're, but this will give
I
that
mean,
driving force.
you've heard drivers say that before.
Yeah.
Old drivers, current drivers. Oh, we're a 10th place car.
Hmm.
Well, so why did you finish 16th?
Yeah.
Like why didn't you try?
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't pass, or
Yeah.
whatever. Or we had a bad pit stop. Something. It you know as a driver, as a crew guy, as a crew chief, you can look out there and be like, we're significantly slower
Hmm.
on on the stopwatch and on the racetrack. Then
Right.
you kind of, hey, we got to work on this piece of shit because it's not cutting it out. We ain't doing shit. We got to do something. Then you get those Hail Marys like, hey, we're going to shortstop here. Try to flip the field. Try to catch a caution.
Hmm.
Well, we're in 19th. We could get a top 10.
Yeah.
Now, if they're 19th, they're like, oh, don't give a shit. Don't
Oh, yeah.
care.
Yeah.
The points are all the same. There's no reward. You're gonna get it. Oh, we got our 2 stage wins. Let's just finish 20th.
Yeah.
You know, how many times it's
And,
okay, so you take that system
mhm,
and if they go to a 36
mhm,
and they keep the stage racing,
mhm,
you better reward your driver that just mopped the floor with everybody. Oh, he won both stages and the race.
mhm.
Kind of bonus is that? Oh, and he had the fastest lap and he had the most laps led.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now you go back to the shop and you're like, look, we got this, and this. Let's
Mhm,
do it again. Now there's some motivation for the mechanics, there's engineers, all the, everybody's all motivated. And then you get back into the company side of things and you go, yep, if we get X amount of, stage sweeps, fast laps, most laps led, we'll give you a bonus. Now you got something else. I'm sure they get bonuses now, but
oh yeah. Yeah.
like it's my career field,
Mhm,
you get a bonus if the company does good.
mhm,
Perfect. So I make sure that all my equipment's taken care of. I make sure I don't wreck my work pickup on the way to work. I don't cost the company money.
mhm,
We got to make money so I can get a bonus. You got to perform well
mhm.
to get that bonus. You got to perform well. Not only just the bonus, the trophy that goes on the shelf,
Yeah.
the banner that hangs in the rafter. But you brought up like, lucking into shit like Joey Logano.
Oh,
Oh, 17.3 was his average finish last year. I've
crazy.
researched this
Yeah.
hard, hard, hard. He is the most undeserving
Hmm.
cup champion
Yeah.
in the modern era.
Hmm.
Not only did he win the championship, he tied or broke the worst average. He broke the worst average finish for a champion
Kevin. Yeah.
since 1972.
Yeah. No, when I've been going through this the whole Latford system and all that, and I've been getting like all the average finishes and stuff like that. No lie. And I just do the top 12. That's it.
Yeah.
The only people that end up having like 17 and 18 for averages finish positions, you know where they finish? They all either finish 10th or lower in the points. And arguably that's where he was that season.
Oh, that's where he was this year
Yeah.
too.
So it's like it if you can't look at that data that's right there and say, huh, 17 average finish probably isn't deserving of a champion when you have
Oh,
easily 9 to 10 other people that have better finishes than you. And then
that
he wonders why people criticize him about that. And it's like, it's just the system I was in. It's like, yeah, we understand that's the system you guys are working in, but I
yep.
also can look at the data and be like, this doesn't seem right at all.
It goes
Like,
it goes back to the whole trying thing.
yeah.
Oh, we have an average finish of 17, but we're in the playoffs. We still have a chance. We can't get out of our own way,
Hmm.
but we still have a chance.
Yeah.
If
So,
somebody gets DQ'd and then we squeeze in again. He won in Vegas. I'll give him that.
yeah.
He's good in Vegas.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have meant anything
No.
if he wouldn't have had that initial bit of luck.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. Not that I want to rehash this that much, but let's talk about the luck that he had that season.
Oh,
What, 5 overtime finishes in that
Nashville.
Nashville race that shouldn't have happened,
Yeah.
and then the fact that Alex Bowman lost weight in his car, and that's what got him through to the next round. Otherwise, if those two things don't happen, which I don't think you could really do anything about the Alex Bowman thing happening, that was just a freak accident, or if they did it on purpose or not, whatever, that just happened. But the Nashville 5 overtimes should never have happened. They're the top series. That should not happen at all. Like that is iRacing
Manufactured
level.
drama.
Yeah, iRacing level of stupidity right there. Um, and like when I go onto iRacing, I expect to see that and I expect that to happen and I enjoy it somewhat, not really, but it's like that's those people aren't professionals. Those are amateur racers that are on there. And
Yeah.
now I go and watch professionals do this, and I'm like, the fuck am I watching here? Like,
I could go home
you're not,
and save myself a lot of time, a
yeah,
lot of money,
yeah,
and I can watch the same shit
yeah, on,
on
on
iRacing.
iRacing, and you're not helping your case either by, yeah, we're the best out there when clearly you're not, because I can go do this on iRacing, and
Yeah.
iRacing isn't the same, but it's like it racks my brain so much when I hear all that. I'm like, this is insane. And going off that real quick before we answer these last two, what are your thoughts on this? Because the overtime or green white checker, whatever the hell they want to fucking call it, I get why it was put in there because there were so many so many races back in the day that they were going under yellow and the fans wanted to finish. And the big one I think that broke the camel's back was when Jeff Gordon beat Dale Jr. at that Talladega race and they threw
Yeah.
all the cans on there. Because Dale Jr. was coming when you watched that race, and if that caution didn't happen, unless Jeff Gordon was going to wreck him, I don't think he was going to stop Dale Jr. that race. Um, but then that brought the whole green white checkered out, and I I think there should be a rule, and I think this would be manipulated a little bit because all rules get manipulated. But if you are leading with more than a 1 second lead, so 1.011, whatever it has to be over 1 second, and the caution comes out, and you're not going to be able to re-rack the field. It's over.
Yeah.
Like you, because you were 1 second ahead. Like you
Yeah.
probably weren't going to catch them. Now, if you're under that, I say fine, re-rack it. But I don't care that they're the professional. I think there's only two. Give them two. If you want to do one, I'm fine with that. But unlimited, I think, is just insane because then you're going to end up doing what we did in Nashville. And that arguably got Joey Logano in the playoffs and ruined your whole fucking season because now it's got an asterisk next to it. And it's like,
Yeah.
what was the point of me even watching that season? Like, I felt as a race fan gypped and cheated because I was like, this doesn't seem right at all. Like,
An
he was,
asterisk that says OT and a chunk of lead.
yeah,
You better thank them to, and
yeah,
three things, and the playoff system.
yeah,
You better kiss all three of those things asses because
yeah,
that's the only reason why you have this title.
I know. So,
I
uh,
can get on board with what you're saying.
yeah, because I get you want the fans to have a finish under green as much as possible. I can understand that, but gotta have some common sense here. Like Denny Hamlin, for instance, he was 3 seconds out when that caution came out. Over. That's over. I love that Kyle
Yeah.
Larson won the championship, got a second championship, but Denny had that. That was Denny's championship, and it was just ripped away from him because unfortunately William Byron got a flat tire. Like,
I was I saw Larson get that flat tire and I'm like,
it's
well,
over. Yeah,
my daughter told me, she said she's a huge Larson fan.
yeah.
Huge Larson and Blaney fan.
Hmm.
So I told her, I said, oh, I'm gonna go down and watch the race. And I told her, I said, Larson's in the championship for,
Yeah,
if he doesn't win, it's your fault.
yeah,
There.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't want to fly home and listen to this girl tell me this.
yeah,
And lo and behold, I didn't have to face the music on that one, thank
yeah.
God. But I was excited that Larson won.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say equally, but it was right below the
Hmm.
excitement
Yeah,
of being more depressed that Denny didn't get it.
yeah.
And my brother, the one race NASCAR fan,
Hmm.
why didn't that guy win? And I said, you just watched why,
Yeah,
restarted, sitting in the stands. I'm like, his pit crew screwed him
yeah.
because we didn't bring binoculars. We're sitting up pretty high.
Hmm.
So we could see, I wasn't going to sit next to the fence. We wanted
Hmm.
to see the whole race. Come to find out, he took four, Larson took two. And I told him that, and he said, well, why would you take 4 tires? And I said, more grip.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. And I said, but then it goes back to this piece of shit car that they have.
Yeah.
You can't pass.
Yeah. Well, you
Four
could,
tires should make a
yeah,
huge
you
difference.
could see that through the truck race. The
Yeah.
trucks could do it.
Yep.
Also, there's way less talent down there, but the trucks could do it. And
Yeah. And you talk about the truck race. When I was watching the awards and Adam Alexander said, your walk off move to win the top, you can't use a walk off.
I
I'm
know.
sure you've seen some of my comments.
Yeah,
And when people go, well, the walk off, there's no such thing as a walk off win in
I know.
racing.
No,
Just because you take the lead doesn't mean that, somebody
yeah,
hits a home run. That's a walk off home run. Game's over. See ya.
yeah,
Gone.
yeah.
Kill
Done.
field goal, touchdown. Game's
Yeah.
done. You don't get to get another chance. You
Hmm.
got to finish the race. Your walk off move. No, that was a hell of a move that Heim did.
Yeah.
There's no bones about it. Not taking any credit away from him.
Hmm.
But you can't use the name. Like, there's
No.
very few things that are like very agitating when it comes to racing to me when people talk about it, and
Yeah.
that's like the top one. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have that. Jesse Love. Could you imagine what social media would be like if Corey Heim didn't win that race?
Oh, I know. That would have been. It still blew up because Connor Zillage had it arguably like the same fucking path that Corey did. It was just
Yeah.
slightly less, just because he was the first half of the season he was kind of learning, and then it was like after that second half or after his first injury, it was like lights out, done. And it
Yeah.
was like, okay, this guy is very deserving of the champion because he's been consistent. He had like what, like over 10
10
plus
wins.
top fives.
I think,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, the
10 or
wins too,
11
but he had like
wins.
over 10 plus top fives in a row. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like this is
18.
insane.
Oh, I think it's 18.
Yeah, it was some fucking insane number. And the fact that he didn't get the championship and then he can't go do his supercar thing or whatever he was trying to do because of that, that
Yeah.
should tell NASCAR right then and there. It doesn't even matter about the fans, what they think now. That needs to get fixed because
You're screwing your
you're,
drivers.
yeah, you're screwing arguably one of the biggest stars to come into the sport since Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
Like, bye. Like, you're fucked. You're fucking
They're,
him, literally.
they're stepping on a lot of bad stones right now.
Yeah.
You have, by far, you can't even argue that nobody can.
Hmm.
You have the most famous athlete on the face of the planet come into the sport by a team owner.
Yeah.
He teams up with Denny Hamlin.
Hmm.
The charter agreement, sign it or you guys lose them. They just invested how many millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is very wealthy for a reason, and it's not
Yeah.
because he's stupid.
Hmm.
So now you're going to say, sign this or you're out. And then you go and take them to court.
Yeah.
When they should have just said, okay, here's a temporary deal. We can sit down and discuss this. My understanding and what I've heard and read,
Hmm.
it was sign this by Monday or you lose your charters.
Yeah.
And I think charters are great for the sport.
Yeah.
So why are you should have just sat there and been like, listen, we have Michael fucking Jordan in our sport.
Hmm.
Do you know how many eyes that is bringing? Michael Jordan owns a race team. I want to see what this is like.
Yeah.
And now you're going to battle with him so you can bank another $100 million.
Yeah.
When you could have, even though I'm a Broncos fan, so I hate them. You could have the Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah.
She brings $1 billion of income to the NFL.
Hmm.
It is dipshit Roger Goodell going and knocking on her door saying, you're going to have to give me some of that. You're going to only come to this amount of games.
Yeah.
No, he's opening the door up.
Yeah.
Because he's
Tell me
not
more.
stupid.
Hmm.
Like, come on.
Hmm.
Come on to comes to some more games and
Yeah.
let's make some more headline.
Yep.
NASCAR is doing the complete opposite by trying to fight this case
Yeah.
instead of saying, "Hey, you know what? We'll sit down and we'll figure this shit out." And I don't think you had it on there, but like the way they're handling this whole entire thing, the way they're handling the points, the way they're handling and talking to the fans and
Hmm.
just basically saying, "Hey, this is the way it is," and tough shit if you don't like it, which
Yeah.
has been the what the old Big Bill and everybody else did back in the day. But he didn't do it just to say, "This is the way it is. If you don't like it, leave."
Hmm.
He had also had a mindset, a business mindset to say,
Yeah.
"I can't have no talent
Hmm.
and make money."
Correct.
I, I don't even know how I even got onto
Yep.
that tangent, but
Well, yeah, it's irritating how they run it. And yeah, the lawsuit. I'm hoping that Denny and
oh,
2311 can.
2311 right
Yeah,
now.
hopefully they can win that because I think better things will come with them winning than if NASCAR wins. Because if NASCAR wins, it's not going to be good. So at all.
Not at all.
But so NASCAR obviously came out with saying that they hired new fucking people to try and get their old fans back. A
Hell yeah.
marketing scheme.
Hell yeah.
Uh, I know. And Jeff Gluck, I don't know if you saw, he came out with a post saying, "What does NASCAR need to do to basically get?" I don't know. Maybe I'll pop the actual tweet that he put up on there, but where he was like saying, "What does NASCAR need to do basically to earn the trust of the fans back?" Um, my thoughts on it initially is they need to they need to bring back a full season points. I know they don't want to, and I know they want to just do a playoff system, but that is the least cost effective and the first wave to basically apologizing to your old fans and saying we fucked up. Like, I personally don't need them to come out and say, "Hey, sorry, fans." I think that would help. Um, they could take a page out of Dodge and how
Last
Dodge
year,
made,
Ram
even though if it
killed
was cheesy
the
or
Hemi
not, that
V8,
commercial saying,
and
"We
people had
heard you
opinions.
guys. We're bringing
The
back the
same people that
Hemi."
killed the Hemi
Obviously, that was a
sent me out here
governmental
with these comments.
thing
That's not
that
happening.
happened, but they still came out
We
and
own
said,
it.
"Sorry,
We
fans,
got it
we
wrong.
fucked
Now
up.
I'm fixing
We're
it.
bringing
Yeah.
back the Hemi." The reason why most people buy Dodge stuff.
You want
So,
more? Buckle up.
Yeah.
Rams coming back to
um,
NASCAR.
so I don't know what your thoughts are or what they need to or should do, but I think that's their first stepping stone. Is even though they might not, and it sounds like they not might not, I think that's a big step right there that needs to happen. And if it doesn't, I think you're still going to alienate people because people are still frustrated with the point system, and a 10 race chase just isn't going to be a good compromise. That people are going to be like, "Nah, it's not. We want a legit point system. We want everything to count. We don't want certain races to count more than the other or all that. Just make it the whole thing."
I mean, the 10 race would be a compromise.
Oh, yeah, compromise. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
But what why was Senior so famous? Just because of what he did on the track?
No, not all of
So
it.
I'll answer your question,
Yeah.
but with a question.
Okay.
But he also, you hear him say it all the time. He's winning races on Sunday and feeding cows on Monday.
Yep.
He's out in the deer stand with Bill Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing shit on, you know, Dateline or whatever the hell. And why is Kyle Larson so famous right now?
Because he goes out into the actual grassroots or the people that built the sport and helps them, interacts with them, um, trying to,
It's
so.
it's this guy. I can go watch him. I can go watch him in a sprint car, and then I can watch him on Sunday.
Mhm.
Sure, he's not feeding cows on Monday, but
Yeah.
he's in a dirt late model on Monday. He's in a quarter midget. He's in, a damn go kart,
Hmm.
whatever. The biggest, my opinion
Hmm.
is there's no tie with a Joey Logano. Sure, you can tie in with William Byron. Oh, he comes from iRacing. I used to iRace.
Hmm.
You know, I it's cool to watch a fellow iRacer on in the big time.
Hmm.
It's cool to watch this other sprint car driver, this late model guy in dirt, in NASCAR.
Hmm.
That's the reason why I cheer for the people I do, because I have those ties to them. I You want to get the old fan back, it's going to take a long time to do that.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot of steps. These drivers first have to have more personality.
Hmm.
You know, second, the point system, the car, the on track product, the overall product being the point system, the on track product being the car and the driver. When was the last time you saw somebody get punched in the face on pit road? 2 years ago?
Yeah, and that one was it wasn't pitiful. It's just they don't let them fight enough. It's like one gets a hit and then they're like, nope, 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 we're done.
Yeah, no, no more.
Like,
No, like do it like the Chili Bowl. You guys want to fight? You're gonna fight right here, and if
yeah,
you're not gonna fight right here, then you're out. You know, it's that's my opinion. There
yeah,
needs to be some more excitement outside. Tony Stewart throwing his helmet during
yeah.
the race. Like, you don't see that shit
No.
anymore. Ross Chastain, the wall ride.
Hmm.
Now it's illegal.
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah.
Do you know how like you saw that shit on Sports Center?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now you don't see anything.
No.
It's they call the NFL the no fun league.
Yeah.
Maybe NASCAR is becoming more the no fun league as well.
Oh yeah.
I that's going to be a lot of steps. So you start with the points, the easy shit. You can start with the points, and you can start with the car, the product on track. You can start with the people that are producing and presenting the race. Jamie Little does not. She does not belong in the booth.
No, she does not at all.
Put her back on pit road. She's
Yeah,
great on pit road.
yeah. Agreed.
She's had a very successful career. She's very informative on pit road.
Hmm.
The hate for Lee Diffie, I don't understand it.
I think it's just because he's Australian,
Australia.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's just he has that accent and people are weird like that. And like, I don't understand him.
Go
So
go watch the go watch the first Daytona 500 on TV. You tell me the announcer was English.
yeah,
So I, you got to have some more interaction. I mean,
yeah.
when you had Waltrip and oh shit, Mike Joy, and who else is in there?
Larry Mack.
Larry
Yeah.
Mack. Like I like Harvick and Boyer and Mike Joy up in the booth. They get kind of off and they could do a few things different, but you have that personality.
Hmm.
If you can't go and watch the race, you better have somebody that can explain it really well.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's the driver break off, the announcing, the production, the on track product. There's no one key thing or even a handful of things.
Hmm.
It's going to be a huge group of everything. And as far as NASCAR, like them personally coming out and apologizing, you see people apologize all the time. How many of them mean it?
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. Let's start seeing some action
Mhm.
instead of, yeah, okay, have Steve O'Donnell come out and say, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We've heard him say, oh, we like the direction our sport's going.
Down the toilet.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
viewership numbers are dropping.
Oh yeah. There. It's no, I agree with you. it's going to take a long time, especially since they've been doing it consistently for like 20 years.
Yep.
That, and they need to know that it's going to take a while, and because all the people they lost, they're all those people they lost are not like sitting
They
at
ain't
the edge
coming
of
back tomorrow.
yeah, they're not sitting at the edge of their bed like I'm waiting for them to call on my phone or make a post about it saying we're back. They're not doing
Yeah.
that.
You
They've
ain't that
moved.
you're not that first
Yeah.
you're not that high school kid with your first breakup going, I
Yeah.
just wish you'd call me. No, no, no. No, 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 no,
No, these people have moved on with their life and they don't
no.
give a flying fuck about NASCAR anymore. And for them to get back in, you're going to have wholesale changes. It's going to have to be implemented for years on years, probably a solid 5 years, before they even get a whiff of it. And then they'll be like, maybe I'll turn it on and check it out, but not today. And
Yeah.
so this is probably like a 5 to 10 year project, and it needs to be started now, like now.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It they just need to look in the mirror and what Dale Jr. said. A lot of their answers are in the past,
Yeah.
and it's not meaning go back to everything in the past. It means there's stuff in the past that have worked, and they need to implement some of that stuff. Some of it needs to be tweaked, of course,
Yeah.
and everything's going to change over time. But a lot of the answers are in the past with the cars, with the way the points are, the way with how they grew the sport. Just go back and look how it grew from the 90s to the early 2000s. It was one, like you were saying, the personality of the driver. It was more relatable to the average day Joe,
Yeah.
so that helps out a ton. Also, when people have personalities, like if you go back to uh, what's his nuts, um Tim Richmond, he was a partier, he's a playboy. Like
Yeah.
that resonated with some of those, maybe not as many people in that era, but if you had that same person nowadays, people would probably you would there's some people that would gravitate that guy. So he was just different personality. Jeff Gordon coming into the sport was a personality that people gravitated to because he was a young talent. He was a younger person, one of the most youngest people that was in NASCAR at that time. So more of the younger generation gravitated towards him.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have the best, greatest personality, but he was one of the first young people. So, and then it was just consistency, legitimacy, and good product out on the track that grew them into what they were. Obviously, Dale Earnhardt dying really set them into warp speed because then they were all over after that. They exploded after that, and that wasn't the one point where they exploded, but that that took them from going like this to like that when he
Yeah.
died. So
And you always hear the question of, how do you fix NASCAR? Jimmy Spencer said it. You need a superstar.
mhm,
You're not going to have a superstar by running a playoff.
correct.
You need somebody that, hey, this guy's kicked the shit out of everybody for the last 5 years. The Jimmy Johnson,
Yeah,
the King. You had Tony Stewart, who he'd win and win and win, and he'd also be hammering beers in one hand and punching you in the face with the other. So he had that.
yeah,
He's a superstar because he's kicking your ass and drinking beer and a personality and beating the shit out of people.
yeah,
You know, you had to build a super. Why is Patrick Mahomes a superstar? Because he wins.
yep,
Why was Peyton Manning such a superstar? Because he wins.
mhm,
Wayne Gretzky, greatest hockey player of all time,
mhm,
arguably now with
yeah,
Ovi. Why? Ovi's not winning, so he may not ever hit
yeah,
that same as Gretzky. But Gretzky won everywhere he went. He won.
mhm,
You need to have that guy that doesn't matter what car he sits in.
mhm,
He's going to go and he's going to compete and he's going to win. Or a guy that stays in the same car, like the guy on your shirt,
yeah, Rusty.
he kicked everybody's ass.
Mhm,
That's why he was a superstar.
yeah,
There's a lot of things that are interweaving. It's the domino effect. They tipped one domino, and now we're halfway, 3/4, almost done with the line. If they start changing shit, or this domino line's going to keep on, we don't have superstars. We're selling seats to put signs in them at racetracks for sponsors because we can't get any asses into seats.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? Well, we don't have superstars. We don't have a good product. We don't have a good presentation. You know, it, the cost, the economy, the cost of living nowadays, yeah, that probably has a touch into it. But at the end of the day, those true die-hard fans.
Yeah, but that's a they can't use that excuse that it's economy because people still go to the other sports, so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they find time for that.
yeah.
So
I mean, I hear that from a few people too, and I say, okay, when you're in the grocery store and you got $5 left in your pocket cash, and you
yeah,
forgot your card at home, are you going to go back to your car to try or your pickup to try to find a few more dollars so you can get that $6 bag of Doritos? Or are
hmm
you going to buy the cheap off brand shit? You're going to go find the other dollar or two to go buy the Doritos, right?
yeah,
You're going to find a way to go to the race. My family's been going to races for this state every single year for 20 years, but the economy's bad. So that tradition's done. No,
hmm
they'll find a
find a
way.
way.
And especially with the way the world is now, it's instant gratification. I want it now. I wanted it yesterday type of mentality. I'm going to go do this. I don't
hmm
care if they repo my car, burn my house down, or steal my kids. I'm going to go do this.
Yeah,
It's another just list of excuses that we've heard from NASCAR.
yeah, no, it very much is, and it's irritating that I feel like I've said irritating a ton, but it's irritating because they say one thing and most of the fans aren't that stupid. We can see it. We can go look up our own facts, and it's right there in front of us. And the fact that they don't see that or they're just ignoring that fact is mind-boggling. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Do they not know the TV ratings come out every Wednesday?
yeah, apparently not. No, they won't see that.
And
They
then
won't
they
see
go, oh, well, it's 14% down, just like we anticipated. Bullshit.
who 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 says that? Who's like, we anticipated 14%. We're happy with that. What?
Sorry. If
Like,
you're happy with a 14% loss,
if it was at zero, like we evened out, we even keeled
but
it. We're happy with that. It wasn't a loss. Okay, but that was
that
a
was the thing.
loss.
Like, oh, we're going to bring playoffs and viewership's going to go up. The
No.
popularity is going to go up. Everything's gone down, 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 down,
Oh
down.
yeah, 100%.
You're losing sponsors. You know, that's another thing. Bring them old guys back.
Hmm.
Paint the cars the same.
I know.
Every week it's a different.
Well, so this kind of wraps back to that the lawsuit. If the teams win that and they get more money, one that allows them to go get the best driver or the driver they want, but that
Yep.
also allows them to not have to have 80 fucking sponsors and only have one or two.
Yep.
Like, and then you're not changing the car up every fucking week. Like, heavens forbid. Like, the one thing I do like about watching Kyle Larson, it's the same fucking car for the most part. So I know
Other than the
what
Valvoline
car I'm
car.
looking for.
Yep.
It's not like Brad Keselowski where it's like, oh shit, what color of car is he? Or oh no, that's Brad's sponsor on Chris Buescher's sponsor. What? I'm confused. Like
Yeah.
Joey Logano is another good one. He usually is the yellow car, Pennzoil car, like 90% of the races. And it's like, good. Like that it's on brand. It builds a brand. Like when I was a Casey Kane fan, when he ran the mountain when he ran the Mountain Dew car, I would go buy Mountain Dew. They're like Mountain Dew, and then vitamin water. He would always drink vitamin water when he'd get out of the car. When he had a sponsor of that, I went out and I wanted to buy vitamin water because Casey Kane drank vitamin water. So I was like, I'm drinking vitamin water.
And I'll
Uh,
thank Ryan Blaney that I have to buy body armor
yeah,
all for my daughter.
yeah,
He drinks it, Dad. I'm like, do you want to grow a beard and long hair? No. And I'm like, well, you can't drink it anymore. But then she said she's getting smart, so she called me full of shit.
yeah.
And we'll talk about her. A couple of years ago, she's
Mhm.
walking by the TV, looks up. Kyle Larson's winning.
Yeah.
said, yeah, how did you know? Well, his car's up there.
Yeah.
She sees the car.
Mhm.
Now she knows, like now she's able to read a lot better than she used
Mhm.
to, but now she just reads the scroller. But before it was, where's this car at? Oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
You change it every week. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? Like she tries to find Blaney when he's driving something different.
Oh no, he switches his up a lot. So
Well, he's not in that yellow car anymore. I don't know what to tell you,
yeah.
darling. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a good point there.
It's
The
there, like I said, there's so much stuff that,
oh, there is. They're in a big hole, and they just need to start.
but they signed $1 billion TV deal and they got $100 million in the bank.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
I mean,
it's
it's a your double edged sword thing. You pay
yeah,
the teams more. Are they going to want more down the line? Yeah,
of
that's how
course.
the world
Oh
works.
yeah, of course.
But I mean, Jeff Gordon said it. What was it at the beginning of this year when he was on the Dale Jr. download? We operate on a loss every year.
Yeah, they haven't made a profit, I think, since 2014 or 2015 was the last time they made a profit.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, sirens. And then
yeah.
you get some other guys that oh, was it Dave Moody that said that? Oh, these guys do this for fun. It's their hobby.
Oh,
Like, oh yeah, Rick Hendrick owns thousands or hundreds of car dealerships and sells thousands and thousands
yeah,
of cars. So he can fund his race team.
yeah.
That doesn't sound like a smart businessman to me.
No. And the reason why a lot of the big three, not as much Joe, but the other two, Penske and Hendrick, um, they are business guys. You know, that
They're
they
not
started.
stupid.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's it's very frustrating, and I feel like it's only gonna get more frustrating as the calendar turns to 2026, and they don't roll out a full season points, and they better be ready to continue to lose fans. And even if they go with full season points, which they probably won't, which I hope they do, they're gonna lose fans when they do that too, because they're gonna be the opposite people that hate full season. But in the long run,
How does Mark Martin run a poll?
oh no, oh I have a ton. Oh my gosh, I have like Mark Martin,
Didn't yeah, Jeff Gluck ran one too.
Jeff Gluck ran one. Um, oh man,
There was
probably
somebody
I get.
else that did it, and it all came out majority 56,
Oh yeah,
54%.
they're all 50 to 60% full season points. They
Yep.
all are. They're all the
Yep.
same. They come out the same way, and then the 10 races are like 25-ish% around there. And then you have either 9 to 10% on playoffs, and then other is usually like 5%, 2%. And on every single poll, it's the exact same. It's in those, like, I get it's X, but the same stuff is happening. And even, oh, what is that? Those YouTubers, they do a podcast every Wednesday. The Iceberg is on it. Eric Estep and Danny. But they, I was watching one of theirs a while back, like a month or two ago, and they ran a poll on their thing, and it even came out in that same thing. There was over 55% said full season, and the 10 race chase was like 30%, and then 9% for the chase or the playoffs, and then other was nothing basically. And that's a younger demographic
Yeah.
right there that are watching that. And if they're saying that, because their whole point of the X is on the X, it's all old people voting on there. And I'm like, yeah, right. Old people are on there. Like,
My
no,
parents are in their late 60s. They
yeah,
don't have
they're not.
X.
Yeah, yeah. So that just disproves it right there. Obviously, that's only one example, but that's a younger generation that
Yeah,
still voted the same way as everyone else on X. So it's like,
yeah,
this can't be wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah. I get tired of getting called like a nostalgia merchant. It's like
Yeah,
I don't want to go back to the old days.
yeah. I just want
I
stuff
want
comparison.
some key pieces, and
Yeah,
where the sport is now. Is it tanking? No, but it's losing.
yeah. It's not gaining, and you're eventually going to run out. Like
Yeah,
the
like
pot.
your gas tank is three quarters, half to three quarters full.
Yeah,
If you don't pull off on the side of the road and change something like putting more gas in your tank,
yeah,
you're gonna run out.
yeah. So it it's not like this. It's not just done, but we're going like this, and it's slowly going down. And they're gonna wake
Yeah,
up one day and be like, "Holy shit! There's no one in the stands anymore. There's no
yeah.
one watching anymore. There's no sponsors left. Why?
It's
Because you
it's
ignored
like
them."
the old saying of these guys are flying this plane. They put just enough gas in there so they can run out of gas as the wheels touch down. And that's what NASCAR is doing.
Mhm.
They're hoping that they can get to their destination as the wheels touch down.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to make it.
I don't think they know where they're going anyway. So
Their destination ain't even on the damn map.
I don't I don't think they know. Um, so this last one, I've been just thinking of this. That's why I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it because so with the schedule, with NASCAR schedules, it's 36 races, I think 38 with the two exhibition races. I believe going to one race at Pocono, one race at Richmond has helped those out tremendously. I very much am an avid person. I think every race should only be a one race track, except for Daytona, Talladega, and I could be pushed to say Charlotte, but not the Roval, the two circle tracks. um, but I think the rest of them all only deserve one race, and there's so many other like tracks that they could rotate in and out. Like for instance, Iowa. Iowa's a really fun track. It's a good track. I've been there. Um, if they left that out one season or one year and then brought it back the other year, I think that's a great idea. It
Yeah,
brings that supply and demand in. So what I'm getting at is I truly think NASCAR should knock their schedule down to 30 or 32 races. Not that I don't want to see more racing, but it'll shorten up their schedule or they can expand it more and leave it how it is and give these teams and people in the sport more time off.
yeah,
And it'll do two things. It'll do one, it'll help out those people, and then two, it's going to give the race fan a wanting it more because we all know everyone's frustrated with NASCAR right now, but we're going to be clamoring for a little bit of racing when February rolls around.
yeah.
That's just that. So
January.
yeah, yeah, January too. Depending on how excited you are for the point standings, but um, yeah, I truly think if you went down to a 30 or I think ideal 32 races, knock four of them off, but I think you could rotate them in. Like I'm not a huge road course person. I think a solid three or four is the perfect ideal spot to sit around. Obviously, I would say keep uh, Sears Point and Watkins Glen in there, but the other you could rotate them in and out. Like
Let's do a road course.
so, what?
Keep the road course on
Oh,
there, or
yeah,
the street course,
street course. Well, yeah, yeah. Leave the street course on there. That's fine. But
and
then,
take it to different places,
yeah,
like they did.
yeah. Take a different.
I was totally anti street course,
Mhm.
especially in
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah,
Like I'm surprised they weren't driving around in up armored Humvees, but
I know.
that's a whole different subject there. Um, but they're moving it to San Diego
Mm.
now. You know, I think Coda's played out.
Yeah. Well, I think Coda is one of those that you could take off the schedule, maybe do it every other or every
Yeah,
third year or something like that.
yeah,
Keep it fresh and rotating because that's gonna keep like if we take it off, people are gonna be happy for a while, but then they're like, we should go back there.
yeah.
And I don't think it's a staple of NASCAR because it's not a NASCAR track, original NASCAR track. So I think rotating that in and out would do it better than
Yeah.
worse. So,
It's
and I, yeah.
why do
So,
why do football stadiums why do football stadiums fill up more than basketball, baseball, and hockey?
hmm, the stadium itself or the activities around it?
Fans. Why do
Fans.
the why do the fans go
True.
there?
Yeah.
Because you have 18 games in the schedule. You have
True.
eight or
Yeah.
nine home games.
Yep.
Here's your eight or nine chances to
To
watch
go.
this year's team,
True. Very true.
right?
Yeah.
You get basketball, 80 something game schedule,
Yeah.
baseball, 163 games, hockey, a
Yeah.
shitload of games there too.
Yeah.
And then they sell out when it comes playoff time.
Correct. Yeah.
But you're not selling out
On
when
a
it comes
regular.
playoff time in NASCAR.
Yeah.
I I'm 100% in agreement to what you think. Go to one track, keep your handful of them, you know, your Charlotte. I mean,
Mm.
it's 10 minutes away from everybody's
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. The only reason why I said Charlotte, I could go either way, is just because it's kind of a home track for the teams and all that, and it
Yeah,
gives it a chance for like some of those engineers and workers that don't get to travel that they get to go to that one.
yeah,
It's kind of a giving back to the teams kind of thing. And then the only reason why I say Daytona and Talladega is because I feel like, yeah, they probably would do even better if they had one, but then we're only doing technically two plate race or super speedway tracks, whatever you want to call it. Even though Atlanta is technically a drafting track, but that's a weird abomination that uh,
the Frankenstein.
it's arguably one of the best super speedway racing right now. But that track was I love that old Atlanta. I love watching them go high side, low side, middle,
Couldn't
whatever.
go anywhere.
And I get they needed to do something because their shit wasn't getting no one was going, but
Yeah, they were. You go
like
there twice a year. Bet you if you went, if you, I
yeah,
bet you if they kept old Atlanta
and you just went once, you'd
once
be
a year.
hmm yeah.
Look at Richmond this year.
I know
Richmond,
one.
bang. They're gonna have to do the same thing with Kansas.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like Kansas, they only need to go there one time. Like replace it with obviously they're going to Chicagoland this year. Like have that be your other one. Like
Yep.
I
And
don't like
why they're
like
going? They've gone to Bowman Gray.
hmm
So throw another one or two tracks in there. If you want to keep your 36, go to
yeah,
some
somewhere
of them
yeah.
small
Well,
quarter
yeah,
mile.
quarter mile or Rockingham isn't being used right now. Why aren't we going there once a year for that? Like I
Yeah.
get they're all like we don't want to saturate the market down there, but like agree, but at the same time it's there. Use it.
Yeah. Go find some small track and
Yeah.
revive it. And then you get, oh, there's not enough seats. Good.
Yeah.
Bring in
That's
some temporary
yeah.
seating.
Or
Hey, this is why do you think Bristol sold out for how many years in a
yeah.
row? The
Yeah.
Bristol night race. You couldn't get, if they'd have stayed in it, it'd have been you'd be waiting generations of like, hey, I'm
Mhm.
gonna go buy these tickets for Bristol. Why? So my great grandkid could see it.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to.
Mhm.
You know, you gotta bring people went there because it was exciting.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably keep doubles up on track, or doubled up tracks
Mhm.
if the product was better.
Correct. Yeah. Like another. I
People
go.
don't people don't go to Daytona because the product's great.
No, because it's
They go to
Daytona.
Daytona to go, holy shit, that car is moving at 195 miles an hour, and now it's flipping through the air.
Yeah. And it's just, I've never been to a race there, but I've been at the track when they weren't racing, and those banks are in person are insane. Like TV does no justice for how fast cars go and what they're actually racing on.
Didn't
Like
they used to have a camera way 20 plus years ago? They used to have a camera that you could that
you could see like the angle of it, kind of.
yeah, it stayed level when the car was on the bank.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
They
Yeah, I
should
think that,
bring that shit
yeah.
back. And like even walking up Phoenix,
Mhm.
walking up the banking at Phoenix, I didn't anticipate it being that steep.
Yeah. Yeah. It
The
looks
dog
pretty,
leg,
yeah,
you know,
it
and I'm
looks
like,
pretty
holy
flat,
shit, it
but
looks flat on
yeah.
TV. But I'm in total agreement that like it just kind of goes back to that domino effect. Like you want to talk about not oversaturating the market, you're oversaturating it right now.
Hmm.
You want more people to show up, you got to, are you going to watch some shitty TV show and take an hour out of your day every day to watch some shitty TV show?
Hmm.
No.
No.
I'm not going to spend time to go watch a race where it's not a good race.
Yeah.
We've gone to racetracks that we'll never go back to
Yeah.
because the track is shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's in dirt.
Mhm.
I know we just had the Outlaws come here this year and the late models, and they want to come back because we had a good facility. We have a
That's
great
good. Yeah.
racetrack.
Yeah.
I think the high limits, they're talking about it. If
Yeah.
you look, they're going to Mandan on the 7th of June
Hmm.
or the 6th of June or something like that. And I'm willing to bet that my hometown's going to be on there. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, one more thing before we close this out, and I've been just kind of thinking about this, because we were talking about the charters and stuff. Um, I don't know, I guess all the details on the high limit, like charters or franchise or whatever the hell they're calling it. I agree with you that I think NASCAR needs some sort of franchise or charter system that kind of locks those teams in and they get a more of the cut of the money because they're in there.
yeah,
But I do like, and I'm interested to see how the high limit one goes over the next few years because I think having it being you have to be competitive and you have to finish up in certain areas to qualify for a charter. I think is a really cool idea because then it keeps people trying to keep their charter or
yep,
franchise system or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, if someone new got in there, obviously they're not going to have the charter money right away. But if they start knocking some off and get into there, then you knock those other guys out, and you're gonna have people fighting to try and get a
yeah.
charter or a franchise, whatever you want to call it. And
It'd
I would just be
be
really interested to see how that goes for the next few years, because I wouldn't be against something similar to that in the racing series. Because heavens forbid, we all know Rick Road Racing is pretty trash. Let's say someone else gets into the sport, like a Dale Jr. or whatever. If he started outperforming a Rick Rail Racing, then he would get the charter over Rick. And then maybe Rick would maybe try, or he'd just be like, nah, I'm out of here. I don't know.
that's
So
it's a lot of money.
it is, yeah.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think you should have that. You should be able to have that option. These like the open teams.
Hmm.
They don't do worth shit. The only reason why 2311 and front row they're established.
Yeah,
So technically, yeah, they're running as open teams. But these other open teams, they don't do shit.
no. They just run one offs and yeah,
And that goes back to the cost of even getting into the sport in the first place. I mean, well, running a sprint car team isn't cheap either, but I think they should have that where they have that like that one wild card. Hey,
hmm
here's our open charter.
hmm
if you continue to run good and beat these teams, you keep your charter.
Yeah.
If you don't run so good
Hmm.
and Rick Ware beats you, then he gets that charter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it can flip flop as time goes on. Or if you do it, you get it for 2 years, so at least you can get that, bring that money in, and then put it to good use the next year. But look at Aspire Motorsports. As soon as they quit running that financially smart,
Hmm.
and they said, we're going all in. We're going to get the people. We're going to get the equipment. We're going to get our drivers. They're competitive now.
Yeah. They are. They very much are. They're,
So that would be another interesting thing too. I
hmm.
mean, I don't know the full entire details on that. I know that
Yeah, I don't
that's
know
what
either.
Larson and Sweet are doing,
Hmm.
but I don't know if it's you buy it into it or if you got to race. Like
Yeah.
you got to do good to keep it,
Hmm.
but you really like you would think that there'd be like some legal action or something like that, or
Yeah.
somebody would sue somebody if, oh, I give you 100 grand for this franchise to run in the high limits. Well, you've been finishing 30th. We're taking it back. Well, give me my money back.
Yeah, that's true. And
That's why, I never even thought of that. That would be a cool thing to have. Like an open charter
yeah.
that teams can compete for. And then you can go to a sponsor and be like, hey, we're chartered for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
That means we get a guaranteed starting spot at every single race we go to.
Hmm.
Would you like to help us out?
Yeah.
And you would probably see more teams try to get in or try to,
Well, yeah.
rent
To
a
get.
car like Junior did for Daytona.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that would be. They need something like that because no one's coming into the sport. One, it's expensive, like you were saying, but two, like you're kind of up against the wall. How they have like charters are a good thing, but they've also fucked everything up too at the same time because you don't have as many open
They
cars or like people like Kirk Shelberdine and all those in their
yeah.
late career when they're like park and start people kind of, but before park and start was park and starts like in the
Yeah.
early 2000s, late 90s, like you had more people try and get in when you had like 40, 50 car fields trying to get into some races. Now we struggle to even get 40. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I feel like I don't know. You might be onto something similar to like that, which allows more one-off people to come and try and get into the sport. Because basically, if you want to come into the sport, you have to be a billionaire or a big millionaire, like
Yeah.
multi-millionaires, like not $1 million.
That wouldn't even that
So
probably wouldn't even get you to the gate.
yeah, no. So
I the to get more people in to get more people to come into the sport, it'll have to be like it. You couldn't be able to do that though, because eventually you'd just hit it to where you have 90 cars every time. But
true.
the whole point of this lawsuit with the charters is like making them permanent.
Yeah,
It doesn't like I've researched it and
true.
I asked Grok and I've done the AI thing to where they give you
Mhm.
your answer that you're looking for, the lazy way research.
Yeah,
NASCAR can take your charter from you. They
yeah,
just
they
did
can.
it to two
Yeah.
teams this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, pay us $160 million for a charter, but
We can take it away.
we can take it away at any time.
Yeah,
That's not a good investment.
no. No, I definitely see the whole point of the Chargers, and not to compare ball and stick sports, but they need a franchise. They need to be able to, like,
Yeah,
if Jerry Jones wants to go sell his fucking Dallas Cowboys, he can do it. He can
we should
sell it to
probably
whoever he wants. So,
he should probably retire.
no, who, what kind of entertainment am I going to have with the Cowboys if Jerry's not there? They're going to start running it as a good organization, and I don't want that.
We'll have nobody to make fun of. No, man, I
So,
I I think it's a great great talking point and a great idea.
Yeah, I
But
don't know,
we
but
got to get the cart back behind the horse first. And
oh, yeah, you have to have a good product before you can start
yeah,
ushering people into the sport. So, but
yeah. I got a
um,
question for you. Do you see another manufacturer coming in?
besides Dodge,
Yeah,
um, I've heard in the pipeline that Honda wants to come in, but they don't want to build a V8. They want to bring their turbocharged V6 in. Um, I don't. I'll just put it this way: I can see NASCAR um, conforming to Toyota and letting them do what they want, and I could see Honda coming in because of that. Um, I don't like the aspect of them being not making a V8 and letting them run a six-cylinder turbo. If they could somehow figure out a way to not have one engine have an advantage, which
yeah,
would be very difficult, but if they were able to do that, I think it's kind of good for the sport in a way of how people hate Toyota. Like there's
yeah,
certain people that just, I hate Toyota, it's not America. You're gonna get that with Honda, definitely big time. Um, so you'll definitely have that polarizing like that battle. So I could see a good thing with that, but I could see a fucking rat's nest with that whole V6 turbo kind of thing. But truly, I don't know. I don't really see anyone else coming into the sport besides Dodge. I think Honda keeps saying stuff like that, and NASCAR keeps saying stuff like that, but
Do
I
you
don't.
see Dodge going into to
Xfinity? Or
Xfinity and then the Cup?
yeah, I think that's their game plan because I think that's what why um, uh, colleague is. I heard they were breaking up their partnership with Richard Childress,
Yeah,
and then obviously they're selling off all their stuff with the Xfinity car, and they're focusing all on the truck. So my guess is Dodge is going to build a pipeline through them as their quote unquote main team at the moment. Um, so I feel like that's their game plan. Probably not for another 2 years before they're there. That's my guess.
yeah.
But yeah,
I just don't think I don't know of any other Nissan. That's about it.
yeah. I don't see Nissan. I don't. Even, is Nissan even in any sport like besides drifting challenges and shit like that? Like I wouldn't see Nissan. Toyota's already in
Another
NASCAR.
GM branch, like what Cadillac's doing in
Oh
F1,
yeah.
maybe
It would be interesting to get another GM in. Like I feel like
because you
it.
had Chevrolet and Pontiac there for a little while.
Yeah. I I I feel like the more manufacturers we could get in there, the cooler it could kind of be. Because Brad Keselowski brought up a point of how he's not an A tier Ford,
Yeah,
and Penske gets number one in there. If you had another brand like a Dodge, maybe he would switch over that and he could be A tier or whatever. Um, I truly think you
good
can
luck
only
getting
have.
Roush to change the
Yeah, I
Dodge.
know. I know. Well, Roush is getting older, so maybe he's gonna. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be really weird though.
Yeah,
Uh, but I truly think you can really only have like two teams nowadays on the same manufacturer without like hurting yourself. Like two Ford teams, two Chevy teams, because otherwise they're not going to share all the information. Even though they say they share the information, I don't think they share all. Like Hendrick doesn't share all the information to um, uh,
Spire.
Spire. Thank you. So yeah, I think more manufacturers help that out, and you have more quote unquote A tier teams then.
Yeah,
But you have to get more
manufacturers.
manufacturers, and right now I think Dodge is probably the only one coming up. I've heard Honda, but I don't know about that one, and I doubt Hyundai would ever come in. Um, I don't know who else would join. Like,
You don't really have
so
you don't really have anybody else.
I don't believe any like the foreign like cars like Audi or BMW or Volkswagen want anything to do with NASCAR. So they're not going to come in.
No.
So yeah,
It's just an interesting. I was kind of surprised to hear that Rams coming back or Dodge.
I was too when they said they had someone in the pipeline. There was a lot of talk of Honda, so I was like, it's probably Honda.
Yeah.
And especially how bad Dodge or Stellantis was doing in the last few like months. It was like they've been tanking. It was like, oh my god, what's going on here? And then they announced that the Hemi's coming back, and then they announced that they're going into NASCAR. It's like, jeepers, are you guys going to go bankrupt by doing this or what?
My respect for Dodge. Everybody's kind of check out the new Ford Mach E Mustang, the
Yeah,
electric Mustang. The then here's Dodge is like, here's a Dodge Caravan with 850 horse. Take your kids to school really quick and in style.
oh yeah,
Are you gonna put a battery in there?
yeah.
Just the one that can turn it on. That's it. We ain't doing electric shit.
I uh I love that Dodge bag. I'm a big Dodge fan. When I started with Ward Burton, he was in a Dodge. And then when he uh left the sport, I needed a driver, and I was like, "Hey, Casey Kane's young. He's gonna be in the sport for a while, and he drives the red Dodge. I like this." So jumped on that train, and then yeah. So I was like, "It's a Dodge, hell yeah!" So I have no problem with Dodge coming back. I like seeing Dodge around.
My dad worked for Ford for a long time,
Yeah,
and now I'm kind of in a pickle because I'm most of the guys that I like,
or
they're
Chevys.
they're in Chevrolets, or then you got the Blaney that's in a Ford, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It they're all the same.
they are for the most part. They are. It's just I just I'm not really like brand loyal like for like a car now. It's more like back in the day. Like I really like Dodge Vipers. I own a Dodge Neon SRT4, so I love those little cars and like so and I really enjoy the old Dodge commercials and like the Dodge and Twister, even though those trucks are kind of really rusty and their plastic is terrible inside of them, but I don't know.
Nowadays,
It's a lot
back
of
in the day,
nostalgia.
that was legit.
Yeah. It's a lot of nostalgia for the old Dodge and how they were and so yeah. I don't know.
Well,
But
man,
hey,
it's been
it was you got
enjoyable.
do you have anything else to say? Otherwise we'll get out of here because we've been on here for a while.
Uh, Go Broncos.
Oh, I'm also not a Vikings fan, so not a Vikings fan.
Why do you have that?
Long story short,
Did you lose a bet?
yeah, basically it was a bet that I had to put up a Vikings flag, which in the background of any of my videos, and technically where that white line is, it cuts across there, and there's a Packers logo up there. So,
Well, you can
um,
keep both of them out. That's
yeah.
fine.
So I'm more of a Packer fan, but I love watching Aaron Rodgers play. So I'm kind of a Steelers fan this year. So
I was gonna say I'd love to do this again, but you're making it harder and harder now. We're kind of in the same neighborhood
I
too.
know we are.
I don't know.
I'm also a Sharks fan too. So
Go Avalanche.
ooh, Avalanche, they're good. My buddies love watching them. Nathan McKinnon, he's a fucking beast.
I won't
So
tell you my baseball team because then I'll just get laughed into oblivion.
is it the Marlins?
No,
What is it?
the Diamondbacks. Get
Yeah.
into college football this year, they're horrible.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Sco
I
Buffs.
don't.
Old Dion, got to ride with Prime.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jared, it was fun having you on. We'll
Yeah,
maybe I kind of want to get you and Alex and I on here one time. Maybe we can try and do that. That'd be fun.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
if you want to bullshit about any other sport, you let me know.
yeah, we'll definitely do that. I'll probably do some more football ones when we get closer to the playoffs. or when we get closer to knowing. You can kind of tell who's in it now, but maybe when it gets a little closer to the playoffs. But
You better believe.
they they've won what, like 8 games in a row. It's been a little nail biting on some of them, but they're winning. So
Winning's winning.
yeah, I know.
Well, thank you, man. I had a good time,
Hey,
and thanks for taking your time out and
no,
organizing some questions and good
no,
discussion.
yeah, not a problem. We'll get you back on. Maybe when the points get out there, maybe we'll have you and Alex and I all on about the points. So
Yeah,
hopefully they do it sooner than later. I hope they don't wait all the way to January, but they probably fucking will. So
whatever.
it is what it
We're at
is.
their mercy.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Go like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys later.